All right, man. What's up? What's up? Welcome to another edition of Having a Guest. This time with Camelot. What's up, Cam?
Whole bunch of nothing.
Whole
Tired.
bunch of nothing.
Tired. Snowed in for a week in Alabama, which is the whole point. Is it's in Alabama. If this was anywhere else, they would have plowed the roads. There'd be salt and stuff. But apparently, my giant increase in property taxes don't mean nothing in Alabama or my city because no, I haven't even seen a single truck. I finally made it out today. I got my truck. I was like, you know what? I need a monster. And I had to put it on ice because I just got a pack of monsters. And I was like, I'm about to die. You know, I'm looking at my shotgun. I'm like, you know, it looks pretty tasty. I need a monster. I need to get out. I need to hit the gym because I'm just feeling awful. You know, I was at Daytona, didn't get to work out for a week. I get my truck. I'm looking at the ice, and I live on a steep hill. And I start going down it real slow. I made it all the way down it. So I'm driving through my city. Like, it's very rural until you get to the city area, which is probably like 2 miles. There's cars everywhere in ditches, just like it looked like The Walking Dead in that scene where they're on the highway and you see cars for miles. Yeah. There was one SUV upside down on a low shoulder, just sitting there dead. I'm like, oh my god! And I just went to the gym, made it all the way home, and it's gonna get below freezing again tonight. And it's been raining all day, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna be stuck. Thank God I got to Costco.
So you got the freezing rain going on today because we got it here. We actually had our sheriff put out a notice basically saying stay in for the next week. Let me pull that up. I was like, what the hell? You know, it's bad when law enforcement. Yeah, so it was like Warren County is under a winter weather advisory, blah 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 blah. The sheriff, whatever his name, in Mahaney, continues to request that you stay at home if possible. You know, they should improve the road conditions by the 1st of next week. I was like, man, you ain't locking me in all weekend.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Like, I need my Captain Crunch. Like, this is the what is it? It's against the one of the amendments, like the 5th Amendment, maybe. I don't know. But I left my this is something I completely forgot. I left my road, got to the next road, and there's a barricade in front of it.
Oh no!
Those big orange barricades, like impassable. My happy ass, I'm in a giant truck. I just go in the ditch and go past it, and I go again, get to the end of that road it's called Slaughter or something, which is a weird name for a road, and another barricade. They're like, what do you think? You think I'm just not gonna leave? No, I'm out of here, dude. I need ramen noodles. What are you doing? I ain't got nothing. I ain't even got dog food for like 3 days. I've been making them chicken and rice and blending it up.
Well, so when I was a teen, I had a you know, those old LTDs, the old fucking police cars that run around. You know, those giant ones. I had a '84 LTD. I bought it at an auction for like $400, I believe. So I was like, man, this thing's a tank, dude. I'd take that thing out at anything. I can give a damn.
Yeah, it's wild. This happened last year on my same kind of deal. Last year they fixed it within a day. They had salt trucks and stuff. Not this time. I pulled my Mustang out of the driveway. My goofy ass Mustang. I pulled it out of the driveway and it just started sliding, and I slowly slid down my steep road all the way to the bottom, probably like 100 yards. And I was like, I didn't hit anything. And I just stayed there, and I left my car there. And the old lady, I left it in front of her house, and she's like, you don't want to leave your car there? And I'm like, ma'am, I don't have a choice because it wouldn't move. I put it in first gear, it just spins. I'm like, well, it's over. And it stayed there for like 4 days. I just walked back up my house and just was like, well, I guess I ain't going anywhere. So it's crazy.
How long have you been? I kept wondering. I was looking through your backlog of videos. How long have you been on YouTube, bro?
Oh my God. I guess 4.5 years. Yeah.
4.5 years. Well, I thought you'd been on here longer than that, man. Really, to be honest,
it feels like a long time. It feels like, when I think about it, it feels like I'm on my 2nd year. But it's just, I'm like, damn, it's 4.5 years now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because it shows you how far GameStop has gone in the last few years. Because, you know, when I look at your videos, I won't say they're healthy, but compared to what they are now, they are damn well healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, they made that research. If it wasn't for the Reddit thing, they would have been dead a long time ago, and I would have had to find new content. That would have sucked. So I'm kind of like okay with it, because I don't know what it is, and I love talking about GameStop. It's just, I just love it. I hate the damn place in my heart, truly. You know, it's like an ex-girlfriend or something that did you wrong. But I put out like 8 in a row, dude. I was like setting up like racing stuff. I was doing a lot of stuff, and I was like, but I'm real good at speaking to GameStop and how they work and all the stuff behind it. I was there for a long time, so I was like, I'll just make a bunch of videos about GameStop talking about different subject matter. I mean, you know, you've done the same thing with the herd stuff. Like, you're just like,
never. No,
yeah,
indeed, yeah. You're interested in something. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I put out like 9 in a row, and they all did them. They did great. I'm like, well, this is crazy. They just like 40K, 50K, 40K, 50K. I'm like, well, I'm gonna do this. And I even put it like as a joke in the intro. I'm like, look, another GameStop video. Maybe if you guys stop watching them, I'd stop making them. But this is all you watch, so I'm gonna make more. Like
that's the way to go, man.
I'm in it to win it, baby. And but no, they're closing their last distribution center March 3rd, I think. They just announced it yesterday, and so they'll only have one left. They had 4 like 2 years ago. Now they got one left, and it's Grapevine, Texas, the original one. So they're closing everything. They're leaning out. The stock price is kind of fluctuating, but it drops, then it'll come back a little, then drop, then come back a little, then drop. And there is no future. They have no plan of action to fix the company. There was never a plan of action. The plan of action was 2 years ago when Ryan Cohen kind of, took over the company. He wasn't CEO yet, but he basically fired everybody on the board. He was behind everything. He became the CEO. His plan was to make GameStop an NFT marketplace.
I remember that.
They started doing this, and right when NFTs became popular, like right when they're like, oh shit, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be exactly like cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency is still popular, within reason.
Yeah.
NFTs became popular for a second, and GameStop's like, that's our future. And they, of course, as any corporate company, it took them 6 months to implement their marketplace. NFTs were dead, like super dead by that point. So I think their marketplace was open for 3 months before they closed it. That was their idea. They thought they were going to save the company through NFTs. It was unbelievable. And now they haven't done anything except just fire. They're firing people. They continue to lay off more and more people. They close more and more stores. They're just doing that net adjusted profit thing, so they can, like, at the end of the quarter be like, oh, we only lost $3 million in net adjusted profit because we closed 1,000 stores. You know what I'm saying?
I remember when they got that boost, to the moon,
Diamond hands.
Diamond hands. Exactly. I remember that.
Dude, there's still people on that message board today saying, I'm holding until it's 5 million a share. I'm like, do you hear what you're saying? 5 million? What? Oh my God, I'll buy 1 share right now. Like, what are you talking about? 5 million? That's crazy. I have like almost 1 billion Shiba coin, and I'm still not optimistic. I bought it a long time ago, and I remember every week I'd put $100 in, waiting patiently. I'm like, please just go to half of a cent.
Yeah, you're like, Elon, give it a little love, buddy. A little love.
Man, it happened to the Doge one time. Doge went up like 50 cents.
Yeah,
everybody
I remember
had Ferraris. I want my Ferrari.
Yeah, everybody and their mother was like, oh my God.
That's when at Talladega, Josh Wise in the Cup Series, he had that Doge car, had a Doge face on it. It's like in 2012 or something. He had that. It's like a Ford Fusion, like NASCAR Cup car at Talladega. This dude takes the lead in the freaking Doge car with a stupid ass face on it, the Doge face, like the Shiba face, and that was the greatest thing ever. It was the greatest thing, and that's when it was all blowing up. It was a lot of fun back then. But yeah, I'm patiently waiting. I need Shiba to go up so I can buy me Ferrari and retire.
It's so crazy, like how long ago that seems, and it was really that long ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's pretty crazy. And then all it takes is, I don't know why Elon Musk, because technically, you can't really influence, right? You're not supposed to be able to influence anything. But I mean, he could just tweet, man, I love Shiba coin. It's great. That's all he had to say. He didn't tell anybody to buy nothing. That shit would explode. He has power. Do it.
He could take a picture of like a Twitter headquarters and have like a frame picture of Shiba coin in the background. That's
all you got to do. And I'd be well off. Buy me a Ferrari, gonna pay off my house, and then I'm gonna just stream and make fun videos.
See, I would love to do that. Honestly, I would love that to be like my life. Be like, yeah, here's me trying to get out of my driveway, but who cares? Because if I wreck this one, I'll buy another one.
Yeah, I would make a video. Just bought a new Ferrari. No one's gonna watch this video. I'm just burning it out, burn it. I don't care. What's gonna happen?
Yeah. For some reason, I've been getting recommended slot machine videos. These people that spend insane amounts of money. I was like, where the hell did those people get their money from?
There's sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. This I was going to say, this one guy it recommended, he lost $260,000 in digital slots. Yeah, in one setting. I was like, how the hell do you do that, man?
I watched a documentary recently that about kind of like that. Now there's there was this guy, he was like the CEO of some company, like a Chinese CEO. He was worth billions of dollars. This dude goes to Las Vegas and becomes like addicted to gambling, and he's like high rolling, and he goes to Las Vegas for like 3 years straight and just stays there. And they have like his own personal suite he just lives in. Of course, he's paying out the ass. He has his own personal staff, chef, everything. And they offered it. He didn't say, I need all this. They were like, oh, we're going to do this for you.
Yeah, of course they do.
And they're going to tack that shit on the bill. And this dude stays there for 3 years. And at the end of it, he's bankrupt and has no money. He spent over $1 billion. I think the number was over $1 billion. He's a billionaire,
insane, man.
Just sitting in a freaking hotel, like Caesar's Palace, freaking gambling 24/7. He was like just drunk as hell, like alcoholism just gone. It's the craziest. I'm like, dude, it's crazy you can get addicted to that. There's actually people that will buy like thousands of scratch offs. They'll like budget. They'll get like thousands of dollars and they'll do the math. They'll buy thousands of scratch offs and they'll scratch them all off and look at their profit versus like loss. And they'll like find out what's the best strategy to be able to profit. And there's some people apparently out there that know strategies to buy good just stacks of scratch offs and they'll make a small profit from it. And that's what they freaking do. It's the craziest shit. There's like a movie about it now, I think.
I listen to like a lot of, when I drive, I listen to audiobooks. I was listening to one about these people, the gangsters in, I think it was Oklahoma. They're talking about how they would go to launder money. And this is back in the 70s and 80s. And the amount of money that they were putting into those places was fucking staggering, man.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. It's just wild. I wish that was me. I wish I just had unlimited amounts of money so I could just do whatever I want to do and help people and help the people I care about, lift people up. But God, can't do nothing. Even when like what unrelated, but the whole NASCAR thing, you have to, every single person that I know that is involved is gajillionaires. All of them. They're kids, right? They're 18, 19 years old.
Right.
But their parents are like, oh, CEO of this company, CEO of this company, CEO of this company. And they're like, how much is it per race? $100,000 per race? Yeah, we'll just buy 2 years. We're going to do 2 years straight. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I can't even, for me, it's way different because I have, through YouTube, I'm able to get sponsorship that foots 90% of it. It's not $100,000. That's for like the top rods in NASCAR.
Right.
It's like, 10, 15 grand. And then I have sponsorships that really help out and pay for it. And that's only me running a handful of races. And I just imagine what you could do if you just had $10 million in your savings account. God, you could just do anything.
Yeah, we used to, back in the day, we used to run demolition every now and then. And I have friends that were really into it. And every now and then I'd get out. I was like, hell yeah, I just want to break something, so we'd get out. I mean, some of those races probably weren't supposed to be demolition, but I mean, you know how that goes.
Yeah, I was in one of those recently.
Exactly. I mean, that stuff was fun, but I have friends that get into, higher racing. And man, I was stunned by the cost.
Yeah, I got a hand-me-down engine. I blew my engine at Montgomery last year. I blew my head gasket. So I got the head gasket replaced. The engine's good, but I put another engine in it. Same engine. Rebuild. It was like $7,000. And it was hand-me-down. No one knows who built it. $7,000. If you know who built it and you got all the numbers behind it, it's like $25,000.
Good Lord, and man, it's just engine wise.
I dropped that bitch in and I went out there, put 50 laps in. I was in second place, taking the lead on the outside. This engine was like overpowered. I think it was a drag engine. It sounded wild. It sounded like a bunch of pissed off bees. Most time you get that real healthy sound. This one sounded like on the edge of like, I got a lot of power, but I don't got a lot of time. And I'm taking the lead on the outside and I'm like, oh my God, is this actually happening? Engine explodes. And there's that $7,000 gone. I was like, well, damn. Now I got 2 broke engines. Luckily, a team hired me. They were like, oh, because they want you there, But dude, it is. If you're trying to just run, like lower series, like local short track racing, you're spending over $100,000 a year. It's wild. NASCAR is $20 million a year.
See, I can't. That's just like you said, though. The people that are in it, they don't think about money because most of them have been around money all their lives. So
yeah, you can Google any NASCAR driver. This isn't exclusive to NASCAR. This is Formula One, generally speaking. V8 supercars, NASCAR, doesn't really matter the discipline. Google the driver, and type in parents or family, and without fail, if they're younger than like 25 or 28, because that's when it really started taking hold, when profitability stopped being a thing in NASCAR, and it was like more like, well, the teams can't fund themselves anymore, so they need outside funding. So they started hiring drivers, not really about talent, more about if they can pay for it.
Right.
So you'll start, if you Google almost any driver, it's either their father was like a past champion and they have a lot of sponsorship behind them, or B, their father is the CEO, coincidentally, of the logo of the company on the car. That's just like, you'll like, look, I wonder who's the CEO of Xfinity, and you're like, oh shit, it's the kid that drives the Xfinity car. Can't believe that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it works now, and it kind of sucks, but at least somebody has the opportunity. But you can still get in there. My dumb ass ain't rich, and I can go out there and I'm trying to do stuff. But I'm not in a top ride. It's like a family owned team. I'm going out there trying to get experience, and then maybe one day I can scrape together a lot, throw down a lot for a seat, try to go out there and compete. But right now, you just have to have a company behind you. Monster Energy needs to see you and be like, you know what, we like you. How much is it? $2 million. Here you go. And you're like,
yeah, that's what you need right there.
Your marketing budget. So, that's like a 1% of our marketing budget. You're like, okay. There you go. That's how it usually works.
Hell, man. I mean, hey, you get enough eyes on you, dude. That's the way to roll anyway.
Yeah. Now, look, I don't. This isn't a boast at all, but the social media presence for NASCAR, if you look at like racing, Formula One's social media presence is unparalleled. They are so good. Every day they got a new video. Top 20 best finishes at Spa. Top 10 best Formula One cars. They have all these ideas, and they're putting out a video a day, and they have millions of subscribers. They got the algorithm locked down. They have every post on social media is bumping. All the teams have bumping social media. All the drivers have bumped. They're on point. They know how important social media is to anyone that's below the age of 40 right now. I don't know why, but NASCAR is just not there. The drivers, like, they're not allowed to really talk. They don't do interviews. They don't talk to anybody. No one knows them. And I'm thinking to myself, these guys need to be out there, like, freaking snowboarding, saying like spicy shit on their social media, maybe some hot takes. Because they'll do it in Formula One. Like, you'll hear
it's because of where it comes from, though, man. Yeah. I mean, when you think about like social media, I mean, again, you're Southerner myself, out here, you don't hear people like, yo, man, I got my YouTube channel cranking or whatever,
Yeah, and they just don't have the social media thing locked down. And they will one day, when they get a whole team of people in a department and dedicate money to growing their social media platforms. They will, but I tweeted about getting approved for Daytona. And it's just, hey, I got approved. We're racing Daytona. And it was the second largest post about NASCAR ARCA the entire week. The second large, and I have 2,000 followers on my Twitter, my new Twitter. 2,000. And it was the second largest post.
That's sad, man. That is, well, I mean, it's great. It's great for you, I guess but it's sad for the presence.
The only person that had a larger post was Shane Van Gisbergen, who is a V8 Supercar champion in Australia, and he's coming over and trying NASCAR this year because he was at the test with me. Because you have to do the test, everybody has to do it, and that's not a boast or anything. It's just you, Flash, Nick. We understand social media, and we got that shit locked down, And these other like organizations, they don't let their drivers post stuff. They're like, we have a social media guy that will post the stuff, and they'll post like really dressed up media like post where it's like in a studio with like all white backing, and there's like a script they're reading, and it sounds really robotic and weird, and it gets like 2 likes. And I'm like, these are real people. Just tell them to be themselves. Turn a camera on. And just
like, because they're afraid of that controversy, pull down races and all that good stuff.
It's the last couple of years has been really weird. Like if that one kid, what's his name? Noah Gragson. And I'm not saying like what he did was correct or anything, but he liked a post from 2020. Like I think he liked it in 2020, and somebody noticed it or told on him. He just liked the under the knee, like Sebastian the Crab, and it was George Floyd, and it was just like under the knee, and that was it. And he liked that meme in 2020, and retroactively 2 years later, he was fired disbarred from NASCAR and had to do like the Road to Recovery sensitivity program for liking a meme in 2020. That's fucking crazy.
Well, and you know, I hate the idea that liking something means that you support it. You know, I like shit market for fucking live streams. I do it when I accidentally am scrolling through, you know, or I fell asleep with a damn phone in my hand. Hell, I can do it for anything. You know?
Yeah. The difference is Lewis Hamilton in Formula One. They're not supposed to do it either, but he's Lewis freaking Hamilton. He's a god, and he's like, "What you gonna do? Fire my ass?" And he'll tweet or make a public statement about Saudi Arabia, like, "Yeah, I don't like racing here because these people are shit, and I don't like these people. They need more human rights." Blah blah. He'll say this shit out in the open, and everybody will be like, "Ooh," and I'm like, and then he just gets in the car and goes and drives. Like, no, we gonna do fire his ass? All these drivers will make statements like that. Now, generally, it's really progressive statements, but they still make the statement. You know, I mean, you say something that you can make progressive statements all day, but you can't make anti-Islamic statements for some reason. That's like weirdly, it's like somehow tied into all this. And I don't really understand why. And like there's drivers in Formula One that will they'll imply that shit. They'll be like, "Well, you guys don't like." You know what they did last year? They were told by Formula One, I think, I could be getting this wrong, but something like this happened last year or the year before. They were told they could not wear any political statements in Saudi Arabia. I think it was Saudi Arabia. It might have been another Middle Eastern country, but they couldn't wear any political statements because they don't want to offend the country. And Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel show up in freaking LGBTQ rainbow shirts.
Oh man.
They just show up on the grid and they're like literally like this. And like, you know, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with whatever they're doing, but like they were like, you F you, eat our ass. We don't care. But you can't do that in NASCAR. You cannot, absolutely not do that in NASCAR. There's no way.
I you know, agree or disagree. It's lovely that they do it. It's like, hey,
yeah,
know,
okay.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? What you gonna do? I call you out. You know, you gotta love that.
Yeah. So once they pull back from that a little. They have a driver that's not afraid to speak his mind. There's a few out there, but they speak their mind more criticizing NASCAR instead of criticizing anything else or saying anything else. Like I was thinking to myself, like I might run a few races this year, but as soon as somebody really gets pissed and like pulls up a random tweet from like a year ago, like I'm fucked.
I've been waiting for you to get canceled with something.
You know what I'm saying? Because like that's how this works. And now, granted, I feel like if you roll into it, people will be way more respectable. But these guys are so afraid, man. Because they worked a long time to get to this point, and then all of a sudden their media person's like, "You said a thing. You need to publicly apologize." And as soon as they do that, they lose. They're fired after that. What's the point of even apologizing if you're fired after it? Fuck. I'd have been like, you know what? Fuck them. I agree with what I said before, and I agree even more now. Like,
yeah, you might as well. You might as well be like, "Hey, fuck y'all. I'm not apologizing for shit."
Yeah, and you might end up staying there. They might be like, "Well, fuck it," and your team will be like, "You know what? We respect it. We're gonna stand behind you." You know, and then what are they gonna do? No one's gonna do anything. So it's kind of where we're at right now. But hopefully it changes. I don't know where I'm gonna go. My goal is to race a couple races this year. Bring the car home. Don't have any trouble. Don't have any drama happen. Just get a few decent finishes. Bring the car home, no damage, and then be done, and then start looking into really improving maybe next year. So that's the idea.
Have you always? How long has it been since you know? I noticed you were incorporating that type of material, like NASCAR racing stuff, into your channel. How has that been the last year, 2 years? How long have you been doing it?
Oh, I haven't put out anything in a while, just because it takes so much work. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Like I can turn on my camera, talk about a subject matter like Gerard completionist or whatever. I can turn that shit on, talk about it for 10 minutes, turn it off, send it to my editor. Done. Easy. My editors does it in 2 seconds, sends it back to me, I'm done. I would have to go to the track, fly somebody in that is like a cinematographer at least and knows something about it and films everything and then send that to my editor. I don't even know if my editor would even be versed in that kind of editing style, and send it all. It would be a lot. And I've tried doing it myself, and it is so much work. And you can't be thinking about that kind of stuff when you're getting in your race car, you're practicing, you're focused. You can't be thinking about filming.
No.
Dude, I plan on it every time I get to the track. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna film this. I'm gonna get this person to film this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna do it like an opening thing where I talk about a thing. And I get there and I get in the seat, and then like the teams in my radio and all that shit. I'm like, I don't care about filming. I don't want to do any of that. I'm like focused on this right here. So I don't know how people do it, to be honest. I can't do it. I have to focus on what's in front of me. So
let's talk Cam. Let's get in the beginnings of YouTube. I want to interview. I'm trying to do this with people. Like we get to this point where we assume people know who Camelot is and stuff. And you know what? Let's not do that. So what GameStop, that's how you got in. How did you first get into YouTube?
It was accidental. I think it's accidental for almost everybody, right?
Yep.
And then you understand how it works, and then you can just like make another channel and it does well. And you're like, oh, this is weird. That's like, how do I know this? But no, I left GameStop in 2018 March, and I knew I was gonna get fired, so I just walked out. That's kind of how it worked. And I was really not happy with the company for like 3 years. So whatever, I leave. And I go get a job at Walmart. It was a district manager position, but it was contracted out by a different company. And eventually Walmart bought it. So it was just entwined with Walmart. So I went work there, and it was terrible. Walmart's way worse. GameStop sucks, but the reason Walmart's terrible is because the chain of command doesn't exist. Like one manager says this, another manager says this, another market manager says this, and none of them are on the same page. And if you piss off even one of them, everybody's angry. And you're like, what is happening? So that was terrible. Lost a lot of sleep over that. I aged like 4 years, like in one day.
I went to Walmart for like 2 or 3 weeks. I was doing fucking checkout for a hot minute. Then they were like, hey, we need somebody outside. I was like, well, fuck this. That's hard work, man. That's hard work.
I'll have a freaking Southeastern Hemisphere market director guy. Go talk to this store manager. You need to lay down the law, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And you'll get to and that manager will not talk to you. They're like a celebrity. They're like, nope, we don't talk. We don't talk to people. Close the door, lock it. I'm like, what? So I had to call my upper manager. What do I do? And they're like, well, you got to get in there. You got to talk to him. I'm like, but he won't talk to me. And that's 95% of the store managers at Walmart. Store managers at Walmart, there's something weird. Because they're always really old. So they've been in this shit for a long time and they want to die. They make more than district managers at Walmart. A lot of people
it's also like a cult there, like the cult of Sam Walton, man. I was shocked by how much. I mean, let's work out in the morning. Let's do that. It's like, what the fuck, man?
The store managers have to go to like a school when they finally get the gig. They have to go to a school because they're dealing with tens of millions of dollars in profit, like operating profit per year, like more than that. So they're making like $250,000 a year. A store manager, just a store manager. I was only making barely 100 as a district manager because it's just something about store. Anyways, whatever. So it was hard. It sucked. So I was working at Walmart, and it was October 2018. And I was scrolling through YouTube like I do every day, and I see a guy named Clean Prince Gaming. He released a video on YouTube. It was just recommended to me for some reason. And it was like, I worked at GameStop. Here's my story. I think that's what the title generally was. And I watched his video. I was like, well, I worked at GameStop too. So I watched his video. And, it was obviously done in a negative light because GameStop sucks.
Sure.
It was kind of Fence City, but it was still kind of negative. And he was like, yeah, sometimes they sell games that are unsealed for the normal price. And that was like the biggest point of contention in the video. And I was like, what? And it was like the most surface level, nothing against him at all, but it was like the most surface level complaints GameStop has ever had. Like the most surface level shit. You have to sell pro cards. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, I know so much more of inside crazy stuff at GameStop. I was there 11 years. Now, granted, in this dude's defense, he was only there for like a month or two. In his video, he's like, yeah, I worked there for the summer. And he was like a part-timer. I was a store manager, district manager in training, shrink manager. I did all of it. So I was like, well, I'm going to make a video. So I balanced my Samsung Galaxy S3 on my monitor. You can still see that video. It's still there. I did the face cam, pointing cam. It's terrible looking. Everything's like orange. I don't know why. But I did have my vocal mic that I used for singing. So I had good audio. Well, good enough at the time. And I had to film it like 5 times because I kept messing up. I would talk for 45 minutes, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't even think I edited the video at all. So on like a couple times in, I finally got the video done, and I was like, all right, cool. Put it out there, and I was like, I worked at GameStop 11 years. Here's my story, I think was the title. And the thumbnail was just my face like this. Like that was it. And eventually I changed it, but that was the original thumbnail. And I put it out, and I went to Reddit at 2 in the morning, I think. And I was like, I saw somebody on Reddit because I just went scroll through Reddit. I had it on my phone, and I scrolled through Reddit because I was following really stupid Reddits, like cats, like stupid cat stuff, like cats doing stupid shit. Like I'm dumb. So I'm like scrolling through Reddit, and I see an AMA. It was like in the algorithm for Reddit. It was right there. It was like, I worked at so and so for 2 years. Ask me anything. It was 2 a.m. and I was like, huh. So I just went make a post, and I was like, I worked at GameStop 11 years. Ask me anything. And I was like, I'm going to put the link to my video in the subject of this thing. So I put my link to my video, and I refreshed it, and it had like 20 upvotes, and there was like 5 questions. I was like, cool. And I went to sleep. It was like 3 a.m. So I went to sleep, woke up. I was like hooking up with some chick at the time. So I was like passed out. Woke up, and this is the side of the story. Not a lot of people here. I woke up at 8 a.m. or something. My phone, and I look at Reddit, and my AMA is number 1 on Reddit, on the front page. Reddit, number 1, had 15,000 upvotes.
Oh damn!
400 questions, 500 questions, and I was like, oh my god. So I go to the gym, and I'm just answering questions the whole time. I'm trying to answer everything, and people went and watched my video, and they were commenting about it in the Reddit, and they're like, oh my god, the fat guy you're talking about, I know him. And they were saying his name and shit, and I was like, they're saying this. I'm not saying it. They know him. They're like, oh my god, this video has to be about this guy, first and last name, in this district. I'm like, oh my god, how do they know this? So they knew who it was immediately, because he was like a legend. Apparently, he's like the legend of egg. So
I remember all that stuff, man. You know what's funny is the first time we live streamed together on Flashcast, they were like, yeah, Cam's coming on. I was like, Cam, and then you use your name. I was like, who the fuck? The GameStop. I was like, fuck yeah, the egg guy. Hell yes.
Yeah, dude. Egg. It's wild, because a lot of people back in those days would call me like a liar and say I'm making the egg stuff up. And if you on that original Reddit, people would be like, yeah, no, dude, they've heard all the stories. They've heard of the stories before I ever released the videos about him banging hookers in the back room and shit. Like everybody knew about it. But anyways, so I put the video out there, and the Reddit got it like 10,000 views, which isn't a lot at the time. Now I was like, oh my god, I'm famous.
That's huge at the beginning, man. Yeah. You're like, good god.
And I got like 900 subscribers or 800, I don't remember, 600, whatever. So I was like, damn, that worked out really well. And of course, 24 hours passes, the Reddit's done. 10, 12,000 views in the video, cool. And I was like, well, I'm gonna try. It kind of inspired me. I'm like, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put out more videos talking about these GameStop stories. So I put out like 25 videos, maybe, or 20, and then like various other subject matters. Maybe I was talking about something else. And I was like, all right, cool. And then it was about 4 months later. I was just stressed out. I was at my friend's graduation. I took 2 weeks off of viewing YouTube because I was down to getting like 700 views per video or 400 views per video. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This is a lot of work, and I'm stressed out because of my job. So I'm going to, I gave it my best shot, and I think I'm done. I might come back and touch on it a little bit more. So I go to my friend's graduation, and I start getting notifications on my phone when I'm about to go to bed. And I was like, what's going on? So I go to bed, wake up, and I have just notifications on every app, just out the ass. And I'm like, what's happening? And I go and refresh my YouTube Studio app, and I went from 920 subs to, I think, 24,000.
Oh, damn, man.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, it was like the craziest shit I've ever experienced. And every time I would refresh it, I'd go take a shower, refresh it, 2,000 more subs. I'm like, oh. And that video, that very first video, the terrible video that's all orange and goofy, within 3 days had 1 million views. And I got home, I had 30,000 subs, I think, at the time. And I was like, well, I guess I'll get back into the YouTube game. So I just started making GameStop stories. I think Las Vegas stories was my first video I put out, when the algorithm was like, hey, what's up? And it got 120K views the first day. I was like, oh my
That's
God,
wild, man.
it's really happening. And a few months later, I hit 100K, and I was like, well, I guess this is my job now. Oh, I got fired from Walmart, by the way, because I made a Walmart video. That was really stupid of me. I was like, 5 reasons why you should never work at Walmart, or something stupid like that. And they fired me within 2 days.
How'd that video do, by the way?
It got like 300,000 views.
See, that's good. That people don't realize too. Back in the day, you were automatically monetized. Until so that was awesome. When it rolled in, you didn't have to wait for anything. And really,
it was wild. I remember I clicked the monetize button because it was like that day when I woke up at my friend's graduation and refreshed it. It was like, you're eligible for monetization. And I just clicked it, and within 2 hours I was monetized. And I got home, and like the first check I got from YouTube was $3,000 in ad revenue, and that was like life changing. Life changing. And I did my first stream like a month into it, and that was it. I was like, well, this is what I'm doing, because super chats were added that week. That was when they first added super chats to streaming, and I like streamed that week. And Jesus Christ is a YouTuber that PewDiePie like partnered with a little bit. He, for some reason, like knew my channel, and he popped into my chat. He had a little check mark, and he's like, it said Jesus Christ. And I was like, oh my God, it's the YouTube guy that skateboards, Jesus Christ. And he's like, yeah, dude. And he's like, turn super chats on. And I was like, what the hell's a super chat? So I turned them on and made like $500 in like an hour. And I was like, oh. And then I streamed the next day and made 900. And I was like, amazing, man. And I like broke down in tears like a bitch. That stream's still there, by the way. I broke down in tears like a bitch, because I had this revelation that, oh my God, I could do this. I could really do this as a real thing and focus on this. So
it's life changing, like you said, too, man.
Yeah. And then when Walmart fired my ass, I was like, well, they fired me immediately. It was so fast that YouTube blew up. And
they tell you why? Were they like, yo?
Oh yeah, they told me. Oh, my regional director, he was over like 4 states. He called me. He's a good old boy. He was like, hey, so they found your YouTube. And I'm like, oh shit. And he's like, yeah, so we're gonna have a conference call with like, I don't whatever, the HR. So I'm like, oh, well, I know how this is gonna go, because it's against the rules. Nothing against Walmart. They didn't do anything wrong. It says in the handbook, you do not post disparaging shit about Walmart online. And it mentions YouTube, whatever, Twitter, all that shit. So we had to call. They fired me so fast. We got on the call, fired. I'm like, all right, cool. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to do this full time and see what happens. And I hit 100K within like 3 or 4 months after that point. And I was like, well, it's all good. So I just started, playing the algorithm. And you learn a lot of stuff that a lot of people are trying to pay people or pay like apps to learn. YouTube is very simple. And I tested this theory with my new channel. And I just got my editor. My editor runs all of it. I don't touch it. He does all of it. And I was like, hey, man, let's start putting out clip videos from my streams of like Gary Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker. I have gajillions of them. I have thousands and thousands of hours streamed, and make the titles grabby, put some good thumbnails on there, and start flooding this channel with it every day. And he's like, there's no point in this because you're getting 20 views per video. And I'm like, just keep doing it. I know it seems like there's no point, but just keep doing it. And I shit you not, 4 months later, 80 views per video. 4 months later, 80 views, 29 views, 45 views. A Gary clip, Nerdrotic clip from the first freaking week went to 200,000 views overnight. And I was like, I post 5 Gary clips tomorrow. And they all just 20K, 70K, 80K, 20K, 80K. Algorithm came. It's like it recognizes your consistency. It's like, all right, well, this guy might be profitable. And they just put a train behind you, and you ride the train as hard as possible.
Yeah. And then I talked to Flash. I mentioned this in live streams too. Like right now, I consider myself in a rebuilding, because I'll cover another topic. When I find the topic, it'll be good, consistently hit it, and bam, you go back up again. I mean, it's the way this thing works,
I thought I was dead. Yeah, 2022. Like the last part of the year in 2022, I was like, well, this is it. It's over. It's freaking over. Like I was getting 80 concurrent viewers on streams. The revenue was still pretty good. So like I was like, well, I can still kind of march forward. And videos were getting like 5K per. I was like, it's it. I guess this is it. Because there's always ebbs and flows, but this was the biggest death. I was like, I think it's finally over. And 2023 hit, and I started Camelcast, and I started just, same kind of videos. It didn't really change much, and it just had my best year ever. 2023, easily biggest year ever. And I'm like, well, I guess we're back. And I've been riding that shit ever since. And I released a video a couple weeks ago. It's almost at 100K. And I didn't think I was ever going to get another video to hit 100K again. So it's always these ebbs and flows, man. And the biggest thing that people need to understand, and you can drill it into people's heads and they still won't listen. It's like, you got to keep posting when no one's watching for months and months and months. And as long as you have decent quality, the algorithm was going to give you a squeeze eventually, and then you got to ride that shit. And then maybe you'll only get 5K, maybe you'll only get 10K or 15K subs, but that is a place you can build from forever. Because when mine hit off, I had 30K subs. I got real lucky. Got 30K subs. One video went nuclear, and I was like, when I get home, I'm putting out a video almost every day. And I did not stop for like a year, and I got way past 100K subs. You got to just take what they give you and go nuclear with that shit.
I remember grinding 2 videos. I would do that and a live stream, and then when you get to a certain point, you can change that up a little bit. But actually, Camelcast has been a lot of fun, to be honest.
The last night's Camelcast is the biggest one I've had in was 7 months.
That was fucking good, dude.
Yeah, dude. I didn't think Gundam would stay for more than 30 minutes, and I turned the stream off. I was like, all right, it's been 2 hours and 50 minutes to turn the stream off. I know Gundam's tired. And then we just talked for like another 30 minutes after the stream, just about random racing and shit. And I'm like, well, I guess, cool. I should have stayed live.
Gundam's fun though, man. Like I said, that was a good. I don't know. You do really well with you. You noted something too. You were like, I'll message anybody. I don't give a damn if they respond. They don't respond. I'll message anyone and ask them to come on. Yeah,
that's what I do. Yeah. And it got rough for a while, and I started getting really pessimistic. You probably saw my like tweets where I'm like, fuck these motherfuckers. I'm like, dude, I had people cancel on me like 90% of the time for like a month, like every single guest without fail. It's almost like they got in the same room. It was like, fuck this, and they cancel on me like an hour before, don't show up. And it was like breaking my resolve. And I would like, thank God for people like Hypnotic and people like, people with smaller channels, 20, 30K, they just come on. Like, y'all come on. I'm like, all right, let's go. And we can just have a great stream. And I'm like, thank God for these people. Because there are people out there that I can message and they will come on regardless.
That's why I like people like Ricada, man. I know if he's sitting around, like, I'm like, dude, I need somebody to come on today. And he'll be like, all right.
Yeah. And it's people that they don't take it super serious. And I had a donut operator come on my show once. And he was cool as hell. I've had Gary come on. I've Critical Drinker like 3 times. I just asked him. He's like, yeah, I'll come on. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, good people that'll come on and just have good discussions. And, of course, if anybody asks me, I try my best. Cecil asked me last night, come on a show. And I'm like, dude, I'm on Gundam's show for 2 hours, then my show for 3 hours. And then I haven't eaten yet. And I have a steak thawing that I got to broil, like right when I get downstairs. And I got to make a fire. And I got so much going on. I had to feed my animals. I got to make food for them because I didn't have dog food or cat food. I had to like mix up shit, blender. And I was like, I'll try to come on, man. I really, because I love Cecil. But you asked me to come on tomorrow. You were like, hey, I'm like, yep. Because as long as I got like a few hours notice, I can come on. I don't care.
So I try to do, I manage the, like, somebody's like, I heard a kid. Yeah, they come in. So sometimes that kind of sets me up. I still keep a day job too. And that's
I can't, dude. I am.
Well, one day I've thought about like maybe one day leaning hard into. Just real hard into it, like another comic book, and just leaning into everything.
Yeah, dude. I just once I got to where I can be my own boss and work on my own schedule, there's no way in hell I could ever go back. And I have like a really weird attitude about it. If someone tells me to do something, I get like really defensive. They're like, hey, you need to do this thing. I'm like, I will fucking fight you right now. What are you talking about? You ain't the boss of me. Don't act like a boss for me. Because I put that shit away 5 years ago. No one tell me what to do. I get real weird about it. And it's something I've had to deal with racing. Because when you get to the track, every one of these owners are like billionaires. And the way they got there is they're really abrasive. I mean, they're really direct to you. You'll get out of the car and dude will scream in your face about some bullshit, whatever. You rev the engine too high, 7,500 RPMs. What are you doing? Screaming in your face, spitting on you. And you got to be like, you got to say thank you. Like, thank you for the information and the opportunity. I'm learning so much. Thank you so much.
See, I haven't been in anything like that in a while. You know, I work in mental health. It's a little different, you know.
Yeah.
People are like, we really don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Dude.
You know, are you okay mentally? It's like, all right.
They don't fuck around. These are good old boys. Every one of them's military, like ex-military. They scream at your ass. And they'll scream at each other too. Everybody's screaming at everybody. And like, you got to learn that it's just how they talk and how they work. They don't hate you. You just got to be. They're all like
just how they are. Yeah.
And when you get into it, like when you start learning that shit, you're like, okay, this is how they are. It doesn't mean anything. There's some guys I've seen guys come into the sport and leave because they got yelled at by somebody. They don't like me, and I'm like, no, this is how they talk, man. I bet the guy that owns the series I ran full time last year, dude will light you up. He'll come in your trailer and light you up like you're a baby, and you got to say, yes, sir, I understand, yes, sir. And then the next day he hugs you. Great job, man. You did great out there. Like it's just how they get the message across to these people. Some people can't handle that shit. They're like, nope, I quit. I'm never coming back. I'm like,
I worked in my first real job, you know, living out in the middle of nowhere, you know, I've worked in everything for tobacco, farming and stuff. But my first job, it was in a factory, and they were pretty hardcore. And the owner, this was so messed up. The owner was a really old dude from Canada. He was like, yeah, I learned my discipline in the military. I was like, oh yeah, you know, they were talking about that. And I was like, wait a minute. Didn't he say he moved from Germany to Canada in the 40s? I was like,
no, every time. God, dude, you know how many times I've heard this story from different people? Like my friend PDH, girl I always hang out with, hot blonde girl. I went with her to see her family and friends. Flew out to North Carolina on the coast. It's like coastal city, and Keanu Reeves's like parents own an original like old like timey plantation mansion out there. Blackbeard's house is out there. They buried his daughter who died on a ship out there in the backyard. It's a really cool place. Every house is from 1600. It's really cool. Go out there and get drunk on these old bars that are not within code. Like you're like going through these like almost haunted house door like hallways that you can barely squeeze through to get to the bar and get to the band room. But it's like, I guess it falls under historical stuff, so they let it slide. Well, anyways, go out there and Jesus Christ, man, it is wild. I go to her grandpa's house, and he's like, "Yeah, my father was in the military," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And he's like, "Yeah, he was in the German Air Force," and I noticed this man is like 75 years old, and I'm like, "Wow, what year was this?" And he was like, "Oh, it was 30s, 40s," and I was like, "Oh, no. Wow." And he's like, "Yeah," and then after the war, we came to Canada, and then we lived in Canada, and then I moved down here, and I went to Vietnam, and I was like, interesting. He's like, "Yeah, show." He like says to the grandmother, he's like, "Yeah, pull out the medals and show my dad's medals." He pulls out these medals, freaking open them up. All of them have swastikas on them.
Oh no!
I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. And you could tell like this man's so proud. He was such a great man, and he's in the Air Force. And I'm just like, has anyone said anything about this to you? Like, I guess it's fine. I mean, I don't care. It's kind of cool, but like, damn, he was a straight up Nancy.
Yeah, he might not have a fan club if you start talking about that openly.
Yeah, but he's no, he's a real old guy. But I
mean, old people don't give a shit either.
Yeah, he wouldn't care.
I run into old country farmers, man. Woo, man, some of those folks, they're spicy, fun spicy, but they're spicy. Hey, by the way, so GameStop stuff, you picked up a stalkery, crazy fucking chapter in that for a while.
Man, I get all that shit. I don't know what it is. It's the stupidest stuff too. It's like, oh, your accent's fake, and I'm like, what? That's what you got. You know when somebody says some stupid shit like you know that they have nothing on you. Your accent's fake. What if it was? By the way, what's happening now? Oh, canceled, fake accent. Oh, Larry the Cable Guy's entire career is built off of a fake accent. He like we ever heard him talk in real life. He's like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing, man?" And you're like, "What the fuck? Why does he not sound like Larry the Cable Guy?" "Oh, it's an act." "Yeah, well, I'm from Hokes Bluff Dam, Alabama, and this is how I sound. I'm sorry." But that was like a weird thing. And I would see these people, and this one guy, it was one guy really, like one or two guys. And I did a video with Review Tech USA back in the day. He's always been nice to me. So we would kind of cross do stuff. I come on his show, he come on mine, we just talk about whatever games and stuff. And he made a video about me, and he had a really serious stalker that would like wanted him dead. And I appeared on his channel. So he was like, now I want 2 people dead.
Oh no.
And he came at me and was like, dude, my half of my chat on every stream would just be like saying the same shit. Like just, oh, you're fake, a fake accident, like as if that's gonna like deter people from like watching. And then I had this issue where I went to Daytona and I wrecked. This was years ago. And the damages were like way more than I could afford. I could afford it nowadays, but back then I couldn't. So I was like, I guess I'm done. But it was a cool experience. And one or two of my biggest supporters were like, dude, make a GoFundMe and we'll help you out. And I'm like, I don't know if I should do that. And then my dad called me the next day and was like, people care about you. People want to support what you're doing. They believe in what you're doing. Make that goofy GoFundMe. Who cares? And I'm like, whatever. And I made it and I got funded within a day. Like it was like 11 grand or something. And I was like, all right, cool. So in the GoFundMe, and you know how people hate GoFundMes. I noticed. Yeah. I found out yes. That I was like, whatever the damages plus like the extra will go towards some new brakes, because I had like some speedway brakes, and you need some big ass brakes for these short tracks and these road courses. So I put that in there, and it was immediately funded. And then one guy dropped like 5 grand. And he said, get yourself some brakes, was the subtext. Get yourself some brakes, like brakes for your car. So I made like 11.6. I think it was 11.6. And then I closed it. And the damages were, I think, 7 grand. I don't remember now, 6,500 or 7 grand. And then the rest, 11 grand. The rest went to getting my brakes. And that's what I did. And I was done. Spent all of it in 2 seconds. And I was like, all right, cool. It worked out. This dude saw that go as the golden ticket. He was like, oh, he scammed people. And I'm like, what? He claims that the money for the brakes I just kept. And I'm like, no, I have 6 piston brakes on my stock car now. I have AP Racing 6 piston brakes on my stock car now. And the other brakes are still sitting in my garage. And the guy that made the donation came out publicly and was like, I gave 5 grand for the brakes. So that's the end of the story. This dude would come into chats and spam that shit. And no one cared, which probably pissed him off. So he started sending shit to my house, cash on delivery. Somehow he found my address, probably because I had a bunch of mods back in the day where shady as fuck. And they would, if you didn't respond to their text, they'd be like, I'm gonna destroy your career. They were like,
yeah, I've rented a little of that myself.
Yeah, they're wild. So I've luckily put all them behind me. But anyways, so somehow this dude gets my address. He starts sending people to my house. Cash on delivery, like 100 times a day. And I don't care. No one cares. I don't care. So like my roommate at the time, Tiny, she would just answer the door and be like, yeah, it's not real. And we'd be like, put our address on a no cash on delivery list. So eventually it started whittling down. And finally the dude had enough and he got me swatted. He's like, fuck it. I'm going to call the police. So he calls the police on me, says that I'm driving my stock car down the road at like 100 miles an hour. Of course I wasn't. So the police, I'd not driven it on the street, except for the day I got it. I drove it slowly around my neighborhood and then put it back in the garage just to make sure it rolled, So I put it back in my garage, and that was a year prior. So this dude calls the police. They show up and they were like real nervous, right? They like had their hands on their guns and shit. There's 3 guys. And they're like, hey, so we got a call. Okay. And I'm like, oh, okay, shit. And it's like, yeah, so this guy's saying you're out here and you almost hit a kid, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I do have some NASCAR stock cars. I was like, but I don't drive them on the street. I drove one of them on the street the day I got it when it was delivered off a truck to make sure it rolled. That was a year ago. And I was like, he was like, yeah, well, we need to. They were like fucking shaking. I don't know what the hell they thought was going on. And I was like, who sent you this email? It was an anonymous email or some shit, or not anonymous. I was like, who sent you this email? He's like, we can't deliver that information. And I just said the name of the email because the dude's stupid as hell and uses the same email for everything. I said the name of the email. I was like, is it this guy? I was like, I'm a YouTuber. This guy's been trying to get me like arrested. He's been sending cash on delivery stuff to my house every day. He's psycho. He's like a stalker. And I was like, is it this email, first and last name? And all of them relaxed. They're like, oh, that's what this is. And I was like, yep. And he's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so I knew exactly. They knew. And they were like, "Can we see your cars?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I opened the garage, and they were like freaking giddy. They're taking pictures of them. This is awesome, sitting inside of them and shit. And they like shook my hand and left. It was great. But before I said that email, they were like real nervous. I don't know what the hell they thought was going on.
God knows what he told them, man. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
So they put me on the no knock warrants are illegal in my county. So we got real lucky there. But they put me on the list that they wouldn't listen to any random emails anymore, and it never happened again. But I was tired of it at this point. So I messaged a friend who has a friend that works within the FBI. I found out who the guy was immediately. And then I said his like full name. Just I don't remember on stream or in passing. And he false copyright struck my channel. And he reposted a video of like my wife video, my ex-wife video, because I made a video and my ex-wife left, and like it was so gay. It would probably still be up today, but she asked me to take it down, and I didn't have a problem with that. But he reposted it like in its entirety, man, and he would put a little bit of text at the bottom, like once in a while. I don't know. So I struck it, and the reason I did that, because I would have just dropped it. I wasn't trying to do anything, but when you strike a video, he has to send you his full information to you, so you can file a lawsuit. That's how that works. And because after he sent the information, I was just going to pull the strike. I didn't care. And he sent fake information. Of course, he sent a fake first name and last name, and his address was a McDonald's in New York City. And I knew he lived in like Australia. So I emailed YouTube back, and I was like, "This is fake information. This is a McDonald's in New York. That's not his real first and last name. I know his real first and last name because I already knew it at this point." And YouTube messaged me back. You know how it's all automated?
Yeah.
They sent me a real email with a real person. They were like, "All right, yeah, you're right. We're going to look into this right now." An hour later, his channel was deleted.
Wow. You know it's bad news when a real person starts talking to you from YouTube.
Because he thought he could just fake his way out of everything, and it is against YouTube's TOS to give invalid information for a copyright lawsuit. So they will delete your channel over like that. If you lie on that shit, they'll delete your channel for it. And he deleted his channel, I think, because they were like, "We need the real information, bro." So I think he deleted his own channel. And then, of course, he came back a few months later and was calling me a false striker, a strike, whatever. And I'm like, dude, no one gives a fuck. No one cares. But yeah, he disappeared after that. He comes in my chat once a week, though. Or, no, actually, it's more rare than that. He'll come into other people's chat. When I was on It's a Gundam show, he was spamming It's a Gundam's chat. Ask Camelot how he scammed people on his GoFundMe. Like anybody gives a fuck about that. Like, he just keeps that's the only thing he has. Fake accent and the GoFundMe.
I can't imagine people thinking your accent is fake, man. You know, when you talk to another Southerner, you know, I mean, from anything, I'm like, yeah, I can pretty much guess. It was funny because the first time, you know, we were goofing off behind there, I was like, let me guess exactly where you're from. You know, it took me 2 guesses. I was like, ha, yeah, exactly.
It's like, yeah, it's like you're either from South Tennessee or North Alabama. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, exactly.
You got it right on the head. Yeah. Because you know, everybody I talk to says that too. They're like, people, and I'll be like, yeah, people think I have a fake accent, and they'll be from Alabama, like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. He's like, yeah, no, your accent's real. Yeah, I know that accent. I'm like, yeah. So I don't. It's such a weird thing. Who cares? Even if it wasn't, like, that's who gives a fuck.
It's funny, you know. When I started out, I was told, yeah, maybe try to adopt a different one because people with the Southern accents, that won't work out for you. So,
yeah. So,
man, but you've also through there, you've always shown emotion. Let's say I remember one of your most popular videos about no friends. You know,
that was wild. That was unexpected. You know what's weird? So that was a random, like, so I was on a stream and I was just talking about the subject matter that was completely clipped out of a stream. It was like 3 hours into a stream. And I was like, I want to talk about something for a second. And then I went into that spiel, and it was a weird like revelation. It's all of that stuff that happened in the video was completely organic. Like the video was going to be about not having friends. And then I like remembered I went to a meetup with my mods, and it was really fun. And I like realized in that moment I actually did have friends, and it like fucked me up for a second. And I got really emotional. And then I somebody clipped it out and sent it to me. They're like, this is a really good moving video. And I don't remember. It was somebody that used to be a model a long time ago, but they had since just kind of fell off. They didn't do anything wrong. They just kind of didn't get on YouTube anymore. And I was like, should I post it? So I asked a bunch of people, and everybody said post it except for one person. So I was like, whatever. I'm going on vacation anyway to North Carolina to meet Nazi Grandpa Guy. That was literally like 2 days before that. And I just put it out. I was like, I'm 31 and have no friends. And I put the video out. And I was like watching Lord of the Rings Extended, eating some pizza in North Carolina. And I look at the video, and it's at 1 million views in 2 days. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. this is unbelievable. Everybody was so supportive, and people still make videos about it today. Abba and Preach just made a video about it. Asmongold just made a video about it like last week. And then 3 weeks ago, Abba and Preach made a video about it.
Because it was real, man. You know, I noticed there's two parties in that. There is the actual supportive, and then anytime someone wants to weaponize shit about you, they're like, this is you, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. They're like, is this you? And I'm like, yeah, that's a video that I publicly released on my channel. What do you mean? Is this a gotcha? You got me that I released a video about this that went really viral? Yeah. And that was the thing. I think the Quartering used to throw shade at me, and he'd be like, call me a crybaby all the time. And I was like, how could you do this to me, Jeremy? But he's defended me so many times on Twitter.
Right.
So I'm like, he's obviously joking. Who cares? He defended me recently from that dude that false struck my channel last week.
Yeah, that's when I put that in there. So that's crazy. Can you talk about how that comes up? Like what led to the false strike? I saw the threats of lawsuit and all that shit. So let's hit it at the beginning.
That's wild. Yeah. So what it boils down to is a guy wrote an article, which is great. You and I both know that a lot of YouTubers will read articles as a source of research, factual articles, which is obviously within fair use. So I just read portions of the article and gave commentary, 7 minutes of commentary in my video. That was just me. I had a 1 and 50-second intro and then a 30-second outro and 7 minutes of commentary. The video was 12 minutes long. Or 13 minutes long. So I read the article, give my takes on it, agree or disagree, adding criticism to fair use. And I went through it, and it was a good video. Did great. Got like 30K views. It's a fun video. I was like, dude, this guy did a great job in this article, which I show at 519, I think is the timestamp. 519 or 619 shows his full name. I talk about how he's getting sued by the charity that he's trying to uncover for fraud or insinuating fraud, allegedly. And I'm like, this, cool. This guy's dealing with a lawsuit. That sucks, Mm-hmm. And anyways, so a week goes by or 2 weeks, whatever. And this dude, all out of nowhere on Twitter, the guy that wrote it, wrote the article with another guy named Hunter Cook. They did a good job. It was a good article. Randomly comes out on Twitter and says that he found out that I completely stole and plagiarized his work, and he shouldn't be surprised because I'm friends with ultra magas and I don't respect journalists. Enjoy that copyright strike, you like piece of shit. And I'm like, what? So basically he said, damning himself immediately, that his perceived like idea of my political takes is what made him falsely strike my channel, not fair use, because he had a stream a day or two later talking about how, well, yeah, his video is probably fair use, but still. And I'm like, what? What do you mean, but still? That's not how this works. Like, I could have read it from front to back with a little bit of commentary, still fair use. Like, I don't know it's just an article. And he said in other tweets that I didn't shout him out good enough. I needed to give him a big shout out. And he's like, even the Quartering would shout you out. Like Quartering, puts links and shouts people out. And the Quartering obviously immediately slashed his ass and like quote tweeted me and told him he was a bitch. I was like,
I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't link because in YouTube gets weird about links a lot of times. Sometimes they'll hit your channel for links. So
yeah. And somebody not messaged me. It was like in a tweet. It was like at 1 a.m., dude. Somebody said, hey, you didn't link this article in your video. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And I went and linked it. Didn't look at any other tweets. I linked it and I was like, I linked it. Sometimes I fucking forget to do that. You read articles a lot. But whatever, it's done. So at least there's that. And yeah, no one cared. No one cared. And he false strikes my channel. He gives the timestamps to YouTube from the first second to the last second, claiming all my original content is his copyrighted material, which is against TOS. That he doesn't care. It's not like he has a channel. He doesn't care. And he basically will say this. He doesn't care. And he says that I have to sue him now to get the video back. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. My appeal was accepted. You have to sue me now. And you're going to lose because it's fair use. Like, I don't know what you think you're doing. If this was true and legitimate, Gary's channel would be deleted. Yeah. Your channel. Everybody's deleted. It's over. The article was not behind a paywall. It was a free and public article right there. I mentioned the author in the video itself, his name, but he wanted a bigger shout out. Plus, he doesn't like that I'm ultra MAGA. I'm not even a freaking conservative. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, so by the way, his profile picture is a good looking dude, and he goes on a stream and he looks like Shrek. Like, what the fuck? You should probably stop doing the AI thing because you're tricking people. You're tricking people and thinking you're kind of attractive, but you look like a goblin. But no, this dude. So I filed my appeal, and of course, it was accepted, and I had a lawyer write it. It's long. It takes up every character that they'll allow you to put on. It's long. Has every statute, every lawsuit mentioned in the U.S. that has been through this thing. And it was accepted. So, I mean, he has to now file a copyright lawsuit against me that he would lose. Now, granted, look, you can tell he's like dripping with like egotistical pride. So he might try to sue me. I've actually kind of expect him to actually try to sue me over this.
I saw threats of lawsuit. I saw threats to sue you. Like, I thought they came from him. Again, I could be misquoting that. Did he threaten to sue you?
I don't remember in the original tweets. I think he said he insinuated that it's against the law or something. Somebody said, I don't know if it was him, but somebody said that it was against the law to not link his channel. I'm like, are you guys retarded or something? You
remember the Sargon of Cod lawsuit? That was a very good one. All he did was make a different title, and that was considered fair use of material. You know?
Well, so back up a little bit. His original grievance which was put by the lawyer in my appeal. The original grievance was he did not like the fact that I tweeted I found a shady organization. Because he's like, I found it though. And I'm like, yeah, and I read your fucking article, you dumbass. Like, I found it through your article that I read that has your name in it. What are you talking about? I don't think I found it. He's implying that I'm trying to trick people into thinking I wrote the article, which is not even kind of implied at all in any situation. He's like, I just don't like your title. And I'm like, well, I could change it. I don't care. Like, what are you doing? So, yeah, it was, and he doesn't care. Oh, the craziest thing about this whole situation that blew me away. I was, me and Cecil were streaming, and I was talking about it on my stream. And Cecil was in there. Ludwig, huge YouTuber. He's one of those React YouTubers, TikTok. I held my breath for 2 minutes. I bought 50 cheeseburgers at McDonald's. Oh, they were fucked up. Yeah, that kind of YouTube. And that's fine, whatever. Like, there's nothing against that. You know, if it's what you do and you have an audience, it's great. He jumps in my chat and starts like chastising me. Why didn't you post a link, bro? This is disappointing. This is disgusting behavior. I'm like, what the are you're justifying a false copyright strike on a legitimate creator over a fair use of an article, and you have 5 million subs? You should be ashamed. What are you doing? Oh, it's because he's in a group chat with him. They're friends. Fuck that guy. Ludwig can eat my ass, that shady piece of shit. His entire channel is based off of reacting to TikTok videos where he does not credit the original creators. And he has the gall to jump in my chat and say, I didn't post a fuck that guy. He can eat my ass. Piece of shit. Doesn't even live by what he freaking says. Goofy looking freaking flamboyant son of a bitch. Hate that shit.
I remember when they were talking about like you said, they didn't like the title of it. You know, when you run across something, yes, you found, hey, somebody led you to this, but still, you just found this and you're telling other people. You know, what the hell, man?
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy to me. I could not believe the Ludwig thing. Like, you're a legitimate creator. Like, that's mad. You're justifying a false copyright strike, and you're a legitimate creator. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's crazy. Crazy to me. I couldn't believe it. When I saw him in the chat saying that, I was like, is this it's a check mark. This is really, he's really saying this. And of course, at the time, I wasn't as mad because I didn't think about it. Like, he's literally he reacts to stuff and doesn't credit anybody. He's like literally shitting, like doing the same thing. He's freaking angry at me for. Are you kidding? I didn't even think about it at the time, but I pulled it up and I tried to speak to what he was saying. I was like, hold on, let's talk about this, Ludwig. And Cecil went off. He was just calling him the F slur and everything. I was like, damn it, Cecil. Cecil's like, nah, fuck him. Fuck that guy's a piece of shit. I'm
Cecil's
like, oh,
awesome, man.
He's hilarious.
When he first started out, like went right off the bat, you know, he pretended to be like this ultra freaking ultra leftist, just offended by everything. And people thought that was him and they hated him. And you know, we'd have him come on and oh my God, I love Cecil. He was fucking hilarious.
He's so great. No, the thing is, these pieces, these mainstream YouTubers and creators, well, they're always more progressive because they got to do whatever they got to do to keep sponsors and grow. I get it, especially when they're trying to appeal to 11-year-olds like Ludwig. So I get the idea behind it, but you can't shame me. I'm not on your side. I'm not on your team. I'm not part of that guy. You can call me whatever, bigoted. I don't get. I will agree with you with glee. Doesn't work on me. I'm not going to lose my support. I'm not going to lose my viewers, my people that have supported me from day one. They hear everything I say. Generally, they will agree with it. And if they don't, they'll tell me and we'll talk about it. I don't get mad at people. I don't care. Like everybody disagrees all the time. It's how we have a meaningful discussion.
Sure.
But you can, these guys tried to shame me on Twitter. He's an ultra MAGA. I'm like, damn right I am. Eat my ass. I'm not, but I'll just say, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
You racist? Yep.
I just, you know, it comes down to trying to shame people. Really, it's all about shaming into silence, but also shaming you into not being around people that you like, your friends and shit. You know,
he can't hang out with Nick Recato anymore. He's a libertarian. What are you?
Oh my God, I get so many. I used to get so many letters about Nick and fucking Megan Fox. I'll get some on you depending on what you've said in the week, and I'll be like,
what's happening?
I don't give a fuck. You know, if people don't like it, that's fine. Did I say it first of all? No, and I'm not going to silence anyone else. They say whatever they want.
People don't understand that we're real people and we're friends in real life. Like, there people will come in the chat and be like, I don't like Camelot, and no one cares. Like, literally, no one cares. Like, and a great example of this is Review Tech USA. We kind of have converging audiences a little bit, but he's politically and socially completely opposite of me, and that's fine. We've talked about it. He came on my stream and we talked about our differing opinions, and it was a great show. I had a lot of fun, and he was like, "Dude, this is great," and he'll tell you the same thing. And he's probably just said some shit where he's like, "That was pretty fucked up," but you know, that's fine. But we're still friends. We still have like DMs, like, and we couldn't be more different people, and it's because we're both adults, you know. And people will embellish for a show. I get it, but like, a lot of people are capable. With your friends in real life, no one cares. I'm friends with Boogie 2988 in real life. I know he's super progressive. He's kind of weird. I've hung out with him. I've drank with him. I've ate wings with him in real life. You know, we were at cons and he's like, Camelot. I'm like, I didn't even know you knew who I was, Boogie. What the fuck? So he's been on my show a bunch of times. It's like when you're friends with these actual people, like your chat or your comment on my video doesn't mean anything to me. Especially when it's about somebody that I care about. Now, if it's, I don't really pay. Somebody had a concern troll. It's like the most popular thing right now, concern trolling, where they're like, I really like you and your content, but you need to blah, 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 because it's not blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, fucking, you're just saying that. You're just saying that. So, yeah, that's the thing with Nick Recato, especially recently. Like, people have been shitting all over Nick recently for whatever. And people will be like, they'll come in my DMs, they'll email me, you shouldn't work with Nick Recato. I'm like, well, he's my friend. What do you mean I shouldn't work? I don't care what you think.
Yeah,
until Nick does something to me personally that's fucked up. He's my friend. You know,
I got a message recently. It was like, good job distancing yourself. I was like, I'm distant. So I'll just noted this. I'm not gonna say what I meant, but I messaged him today and I was like, yo, man, I haven't talked to you in a while, dude. You know, you need to come on one day, you know, because I was like, fuck these people, man. I mean, I'm not a very, like, you and I may chit chat here and there. That's okay, man. I consider you a friend. If you ever need anything, we're good to go. We're solid there. I mean, that doesn't mean anything, but telling people you should distance and stuff. Oh my God, man. Yeah, I judge your friends on this. These people that are telling me that I need to distance from all these folks, they wouldn't have my fucking back ever. No. All the people that I'm around, like a Recato, you, whomever, Yellow Flash, whomever, you guys would drop everything and fucking destroy whatever tries to come at me. So,
yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like, these people that are like, you should distance yourself from so-and-so are the same people that if you said something that they might not like or just agreed with somebody, they're like, unsubbed. It's an airport and I have to announce my departure. Unsubbed. It's like, I can't please you. So I'm going to nurture my friendships. And there's extenuating circumstances. A lot of people think they'll go immediately to one direction. Like what if so-and-so did this with a child? I'm like, well, yeah, obviously I wouldn't associate with them anymore. But if you just don't like their content, that's not going to affect me. So because people will be like, well, if you say you were stick with them through thick and thin, then you saying you would defend them if they did this random hypothetical situation. I'm like, no, that's
that's not. I mean, that's not
that's
even.
what they
like,
always go to. They're like, what if he touched a kid? I'm like, well, then that would be that terrible, and I would talk to this.
Yeah, they they wouldn't.
Yeah.
If they did, that means I've misjudged a person totally.
Yeah.
I mean, good God, though. I mean, we're not even talking about that. Again, you're talking about politics and spiciness online.
Basic stuff, basic ass stuff.
Well, and from a lot of times from people that are very spicy online too. You know what I mean?
I made a video like 10 months ago, maybe longer now. And I was calling out and whatever, I wasn't even mean. I was like really fence city in the video. Fence city. It was about Linus Tech Tips. And there was a lot of people, a lot of like allegations of basically mistreatment in the workplace.
Yeah.
And I just read through them. And I also had the disclaimer that these are allegations. If these are true, this is how Linus should respond. If not, whatever. And I never said anything negative out of the way.
Sure.
And the video did pretty good. Had 98% upvotes. Well, you know what happens. One day, somebody saw it. And it went from 91% upvotes to 20% upvotes. Like in like an hour. Because somebody in that little group was like, go kill him. Discord folks, kill his ass. So they sicked their army on me. And every single comment was like, just how dare you? You're just jealous because he's a huge YouTuber and you're a bitch. And I'm like, well, damn. Fast forward 8 months. I was like, well, that was a fucking failed video. Everybody hates me. So I just go, make my normal videos. 8 months later, the Linus shit blows up. There's like proof. There's like a secret conversation. All this crazy shit happens. Linus tried to steal this product and patent it himself, or copy it and it's just crazy stuff. And I made another video about it, and it 100K views or something. I was like, yeah. And of course, all of a sudden, I have 95% upvotes on the video, and I go back to the old video, and I got I think I was able to get back up to 50 to 60% upvotes, and every comment was like, wow. He was right the whole time. Every comment was like, wow, this dude predicted the future. Wow. And I was like, oh, sweet redemption. Sweet redemption. And that's the thing is you don't mess with those favorite creators. My editor is a little asshole. He runs my other channel. And during a stream or some stupid shit, I said, like, as my goal is viewers are crazy. Because you say one negative thing about it, they will kill your ass. That's something silly like that. And I talked about it for a few minutes. It was something to do with some charity stuff. And he clips it and puts it in the alt channel. Of course, it does well in views, but dude, they are ripping me apart in the comments. How dare you? I'm like, dude, look, this is a clip from a stream. My editor does this shit all the time. He'll clip the craziest shit, and just like people get so mad at me because I said something goofy about some creator, and it's not even in like a negative light. I'm like, Asmongold didn't know about this charity fraud thing, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's crazy. He always set me up to get wrecked. Did it with Tim Pool too. God. And then Tim Pool's freaking team or somebody found it and they laid it in my ass. Like I just said his music was like kind of weird. And I was like laughing about it. Like, how you're having a show, you laugh and you're cutting up. He clips it. Oh, of course. It just does. It gets like a couple thousand views. Everybody's so pissed. So
I remember
they were like that. They were calling me like a liberal and stuff because I'm like, what the fuck? Like they were just thought I was on the other side because I was like, his music's kind of goofy, whatever. It kind of sounds like emo from 2004, but like bad. It was just joking, And dude, they just tear you apart. And speaking of that, I'm going to the compound on March 1st, and I'm going to be doing a show with PCC, Pop Culture Crisis. So it's gonna be fun. But yeah, like it's just the people, man. The craziest thing about this whole situation. People's viewers are so much more dangerous than the creators themselves. Like somebody could say something negative about you, and you wouldn't even read the comment or maybe read the tweet. Maybe some prominent YouTuber said some shit, you would either quote tweet it and grift it a little, or just who cares. But your viewers, there's a handful of them that are gonna go ham. You know what I'm saying? Viewers are crazy sometimes, and I have the same dude. I know some people that are ride or die with my ass. They will get it. They'll take a bullet. I know who they are. So there's a lot of people on those channels, and the issue is I may have 10 of those people. You may have 20 of those people. Tug. Asmongold has a million of those people. Right. That's the difference. That's the scary part.
Yeah, I mean, when you step out on that certain creator, oh my God, man, I've done that a few times, and I've been like, oh my God, you know, you really see the blowback from it. It's kind of awesome in the it's kind of awesome when you look at how many people come in and view videos, though, and just to downvote. I'm like, all right, thank you for that traffic, baby.
And you won't get any, you don't lose any subscribers because it's different. It's not your subscribers aren't watching it. So people see it in the algorithm. Oh, Asmongold did a thing. I'm about to go. I'm going to go tear this guy apart without even clicking play on that video, son. That's what they do. They don't even watch it. I'll be like, Asmongold did nothing. In that specific video, I was like, I don't think Asmongold did anything wrong. He was just a creator that did an ad spot, basically, like all creators do. And a few years later, it turns out these people are a little shady. Who cares? And I was like, but I covered the charity thing, and people just go straight to comments. Like, how dare you disperse Asmongold? I was like, I didn't. I think he's cool. What do you fuck? Like, I'll put that. I was like having to post a timestamp. But like, this is what I said it twice in this video. Disclaimer: I think he's fine. I would have probably done the same shit. I'd have said my 30-second spiel and got my check. Like, what? Nothing against him. I'm just saying he's involved in it. And he did a thing one time. And there's a lot of creators involved in it. But no one cared about the other creators. Only Asmongold. That's who they were mad about. It was wild, man. You just don't. You can't mess with these people. And like you said, these people, like viewers or chatters or whatever you want to call people, they want you to disassociate from certain creators that they don't like. You know, when Anna joins the stream, half the chat's like, kick Anna. Yeah, so like, and it's just because she's goofy, or some of them are just joking, some of them are being legit. And dude, when I go on open bar, I go on Critical Drinkers open bar like once every couple of weeks, and dude, chat hates my ass. They hate me. They're like, you have all these legitimate cinephiles, and you have Camelot's stupid ass. I can't even watch this. And I'm like, I didn't even say anything. I didn't do anything.
I've seen that. How dare he say some of the stuff he says? I remember that with like Flashcast, and I was like, you catch the other stuff we all say.
Yeah, and, dude, there'll be people in my chat, and they're laying into Flash because of that goofy thing from the other day that was a misunderstanding. And they're like, fuck him, he's a piece of shit. I'm like, what are you talking? I had to like type in the chat because it's like an hour before my show and it's scheduled. I'm like, dude, that's fine. Chill out. It's fine. Because, you know, Flash just DM me and we just talked for one message and he's like, oh, it's a misunderstanding. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, high five. It was so fast. Nothing happened. But dude, people make that shit their mission. And they live on it. After everybody's cool, they're still talking about that shit. Like,
well, people forget, you know, I mean, we're live every day. People have it. At the end of the day, I mean, this is a weird world anyway. You know, if you and I sit down in real life and talk like this, we would be pals, you know, like right off the bat. But we break down those barriers right off the bat, you know, and everybody you talk to isn't your friend, you know, but with your friends, even you have all kinds of bullshit. You just kill it, you know, after a while. Sometimes it hangs around for a few days. Sometimes it hangs around for months. Hopefully it gets remedied.
Yeah, from my experience, it's like 3 days, except for the Pippa thing. That was brutal.
Oh, that was crazy.
That was the most brutal shit I've ever been through. VTuber fans, you know how I said people in our chats can be a little wild?
Yeah.
VTuber fans are wild.
That was nuts, man.
All I did was post a picture of my friend PDH. And I put a little emoji over her face and I was like, hanging out with not Pippa, joke. Dude, there was like 5 videos of these huge VTuber like drama people making videos about me, and they were actually like, in the middle of the road. They were like, you know, he shouldn't have done this, but he doesn't know. He's just a random ass white dude. Like, I don't think what he did was wrong, but maybe he should say he didn't mean it, which I did.
Yeah.
So, dude, it was crazy. And then Pippa, I talked to her, and she was like, "Damn." She's like, "Why do you hate me?" And I'm like, "I didn't mean for this. I thought it was a joke." I joke with her every other day, and she jokes back with me on Twitter. It's like a thing. This is obviously not why people would think you think Pippa's gonna be a hot blonde girl. Come on now, she's a VTuber. She's a little crab lady, probably. I don't know. She probably might be cute, but No.
She's a crab lady. You're gonna get canceled again. So.
She got the crab hands. No, it's a joke. No. And I have pictures of PDH on my Twitter. I post all like once every couple of weeks. You know, we'll go out to a club with a few friends. PDH is right there beside me, like it's the same girl. And I was like, at this point, you should just change your name on Twitter to Not Pippo, because she has a Twitter. I just change it to Not Pippo. Fuck it now. Fuck it. Who cares? And there's no, like, I don't. I regret it because I like Pippa, and it hurt her in just a little way. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't want to do that. I like Pippa. She's great. She's cool. But yeah, she hates me. Everybody hates me now on that spectrum, and that's fine. I get it. Like Kirsch was supposed to come on with me. She's prominent, and she canceled and said I made her uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like I know now that this was not approved from the community. I did not know this was a thing. They call it fake doxing. I don't know. So yeah, I was like,
doxing, really? I wouldn't have known that was a thing, dude.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. But the damage was done. It was over, and there was no way to repair it. Like, there's nothing I could have done. So, of course, Phase Connect, like the company that runs all these VTubers under their umbrella, they sent me like a to-do list on how to apologize publicly, like a corporate company. And you remember earlier, we come full circle. Remember earlier when I said when people tell me what to do, I take it weird. I don't like it. So obviously I apologized in my own way, which he just made people even more mad. And I knew at the time it doesn't matter what I say, because like I could do it legitimately, I could do it as a joke. Everybody's gonna hate me in that spectrum. So there will never be a Pippa on my show, never a Kirch, and that's fine. Maybe there don't need to be a crossover because the fans are what's volatile. When I talked to Pippa, it was the fans. Like, she's like, my fans are fucking crazy, bro. Like, you can't do that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't fucking know that it was a thing. I didn't know that, because like she's like they would think that we're dating and we're having sex, and then people would like stop supporting me because she didn't say this, but the issue is, a lot of these people are in parasocial relationships with her or other VTubers, not specifically Pippa. And they don't want you to break the illusion that she's not a 13-year-old virgin.
Right.
They want to think that she's a 13-year-old virgin and they have a relationship with her. And that's kind of what it boiled down to. And I'm like, well, shit, see, I don't know these things. I joke with Pippa how I would joke with you or anybody else in the spectrum, because we're friends. And I goofed hard. On that one because it ruined everything. Because I was going to have a bunch of VTubers on. It was going to be fun. But I still have VTubers on every now and then, but they can't be related to that situation at all. So I had a Cottontail VA on, and she was so fun. She's a very large VTuber. She's so cool. We had such a fun time. We're going to do another show hopefully soon. But yeah, it's wild. It's a wild.
I like how when you fuck up really big.
Yeah, I go hard. I apparently just don't. Dude, I didn't even know. I was watching like 28 days later. It was like 10 p.m. I was sitting in my recliner in my theater room. I was drinking some booze, and I looked down at my phone. Dude, I had like 5 text messages from random people. And it was like, in like 10 minutes. I just like beep, 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 because somebody had quote tweeted the thing. And they're like, hey, what'd you do, Pippa? What'd you do, Pippa? Pippa. And I was like, oh no. And I like go to my Twitter, and it's, you can't do this, you piece of shit. And then Pippa had messaged me. I'm like, oh, I goofed. Oh shit, I fucked up, man. Oh damn, I'd ruined everything. It was hilarious. It was funny at the time. And I mean, I don't really think it really did anything to anybody. It didn't hurt anybody, but it was, it's like breaking trust. I didn't know I was doing it anyway. In hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have done it, but there's nothing I can do about it now. I don't worry.
It was like the end of the world when that happened, man. I mean,
it was like trending and shit. Yeah.
And I mean, it went in. I mean, I was like, my God. Yeah. I mean, I forget how big the VTuber circles are.
Yeah. There was people threatening to, like, there was prominent VTubers calling their fans to kill me. They're like, somebody needs to go to his house and kill him right now. And I'm like, how are you not banned? Well, she did get banned. There was one VTuber that was like the same size as Pippa that quote tweeted that my picture of not Pippa. And because I can't delete it at this point, it's over. And that just makes me look weird if I'm deleting this shit. I don't like to do that. So she quote tweets it, and she's like, somebody go to his house and kill him right now. And I was like, damn. And then, of course, the next day she'd banned on Twitter. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's what happens. You can't tell.
That's wild, though, man, when people are, calling for just straight up violence against
well, like half of these people are like hyper autistic. Like, so like they don't understand like the social situations. They're just like, kill him. And you're like, oh, it's a joke. It's like, yeah, but you didn't say it very well. You did it badly. You ever like talk to an autistic person and they try to make a joke and it's just like serious? They're like, we should axe that guy and kill him. And you're like, what? And they're like, oh no, I'm joking. And you're like, you don't sound like that. So
Yeah, when you started describing the firearm they were gonna bring, yeah, that kinda seemed a
you really
little
do. So like, yeah, that didn't work out well, but it's over now. But I do, I have people comment on that Pippa show I had. Best, it was probably the funniest show I've ever done because she's so like talented at being not really on camera, but like being behind a camera, I guess.
Right.
She's like born for that shit. So it was a fun show because I feel like I'm good at it. When somebody is high energy, I match that. I just naturally, I'm just like, woo! And they're like, woo! We just start freaking out. You know, it's like when you're a kid and you hang out with your bro, you got to sleep over, you just freak out. Right? So, yeah, it was a great show, but it will never happen again. Unfortunately, I told somebody talked about it recently. Like Kurtz brought it up in like a show, and I think she had a level-headed response. And I was like, I'm totally welcome to any of these people coming on and like educating me on this because I would love to know more. Because it's actually very interesting to me. I love human behaviors. But no VTuber would come on. Like no one would come on. And I'm like, well, let's talk about it. So I obviously goofed. Let's talk about the goof and talk about like how you course correct these kind of situations. And no one gave a fuck except for Cottontail. She came on like a week or two later, and we talked about like sex the whole time. It was hilarious because she's like a voice actor. She's hilarious. She's great.
Yeah, I catch a lot of your freaking shows, man. I'm like, man, I got to get off here because we're right almost back to back with shows a lot of times. I'm like, damn it, I need to get off here and watch this.
Yeah, and the man, this is unrelated, but the coolest thing is redirecting on YouTube now. It is the greatest thing that's ever happened. And because people don't even know about it. So I was on Gundam show, and his producer was like, "We're gonna raid your channel." And we were live, and I was like, so how do we do I need to start my show or what do I do? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. And he's like, and then like Gundam's like, how do you rate people? And the producer's like, well, you just tell them to go there and hand the link. And I'm like, nah, dude, you can go to customization, redirect, and put the channel link in there. And it will send 100% of your viewers to that channel. It's the greatest thing YouTube's ever done, other than the super chats and memberships. And
I just tell people to go. I need to start doing that then, man.
It will pop up in the chat. It'll be like that Umbrella Guy's viewers is joining. Say hello, everyone. It's like it's 100% the same thing as a Twitch raid. It's the exact same thing. So I've been using it religiously for a long time, and no one ever rates me. And it's like I raid everybody, and I get like one raid a month. Like it's like Good Logic or a Legal Mindset will raid me. I'm like, oh shit, what's up, guys? Like this never happened to me. Yeah, Pippa raided me one time. This is what started everything. Yeah, Pippa rated me, and I had like 2,000 people watching. I took my shirt off and was jiggling my titties and having a great time. And then she DM'd me, and we set up a show immediately. And yeah, and then I was real drunk, and I rated her after the drama. It was
here's one thing, like you talking about, like taking shirt off and shit like that. I've noticed your old pictures, like you do a lot. People don't realize this either. Like me, I need to lose weight and shit. Who do I talk to? I'm like, yo, Cam, because I watch Cam, and man, you can be motivational, or you could talk about this shit. Like, what got you to where you are now? Because I see those old pictures, and I'm like, man, that transformation, that's like two different human beings, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was 24. My friend Colton's like, you should go to the gym with me because he moved to the same city I just moved to with my ex-wife. And I'm like, okay. So I just start going, and it's like 2 weeks into it. And I'm like, this is kind of hard. Maybe I should start eating right. And when I have this weird thing that I do, and I'm very thankful that I do it. But when I commit to something, I don't break from it. It's everything. This is the reason why I do YouTube. It's the reason why I've been in racing. Reason why I've kept going, climbing. Because when I commit to something, I can't not do it. It's like weird. I can't fail myself. It's like there's so much anxiety all the time because I'm like, I got to do the thing. So I was like, well, I guess I will. I'll just commit to eating right. So for 8 months, this is probably what I should have not done. But for 8 months, I did a really extreme cut diet for 8 months, and I had one cheat meal, and I threw it up because it was too much. And I went from like 240 to like 147. And I had like a shredded like 8-pack. I was scrawny though, because I went way too long on the cut, but I was shredded. And then I started kind of breaking from it. It was hard to break from the diet for years, but I started being way more lenient. And then I started a few years ago, I started eating like a truck during the off season, started gaining a lot of mass that way. And then I cut, and I can lose 30 pounds in 2 months every year. So I'll get real cut, have some abs, but still be thick. And then throughout the year, I'll gain it all back very slowly, but also retain some muscle mass. But it only took 8 months the first time. And then it's just like a go back and forth. cut, bolt, cut, bolt, cut, bolt. And you got to go to the gym enough to where you can't not go to the gym. And I think it could be because when my ex-wife left, I would go to the gym because I didn't have anything. I didn't have, my friends didn't live there anymore. It's why I started streaming on Twitch, like for a short period of time before I started working, because I didn't have any friends. So I would just go to the gym twice a day and just stay there for all day and just lift. And it became like ingrained, I guess, in my mind. Now, if I skip, I'm depressed. So this whole week I've been snowed in was terrible. It's terrible.
Trying to set up some shit here, got a way to move. I actually figured out that this is so dumb, but I figured out, hey man, a good way to work out legs is a treadmill. Turn the fucker off and spin it yourself. That shit is a workout.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, it does get kind of addicted. I was kind of surprised with it. I got lazy, man, during COVID. I was like, fuck, man, I'm getting fat.
Yeah, dude. That was the greatest thing is nothing happened here. There was no closing. My gym closed for like a week or two. And then the gym owner messaged me. He texted me and he's like, hey man, I'm just gonna open because like if I don't, the gym will have to shut down forever. He's like, so if anybody asks me to close, I'm gonna tell them to arrest me. And he's like, so I'm just gonna open. And no one ever said anything. We just opened the gym and I just went back every day. I was working out in my garage a little bit, but it's so hard for me to work out at home. I need the atmosphere and like the social aspect of it and the familiarity and all that stuff. So it never really closed, and I was able to just hit it and just stay with it. And now I can't stop. But I'm so scared that when I take like a week off, when I have to go race somewhere, like I'm so afraid I'm gonna lose the bug and not be able to retain it. Like it terrifies the hell out of me. So I have to go back every day, just as much as possible. So that's how you do it,
man. You're motivated all the fucking time. I mean, fear motivates shit.
It's number one rule in everything you do. If you want to do YouTube, you want to race, you want to build cars, you want to do anything you want to do, commitment is the only thing that matters. You want to play guitar, play drums, commitment is the number one thing. You go to the gym, commitment. Commit to the diet, commit to the gym. There are people out there that will claim that genetically they just can't lose weight and they'll never be in shape. I'm like, bro, you get on my cut diet for 8 months. If you're 300 pounds, get on my cut diet for 8 months, go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week and eat my cut diet without fail for 8 months, you'll be 180 pounds in 8 months.
What I like about people like yourself, man, is, there are people out there that are like, buy my cut diet. And you're like, no, this is it. Fuck it.
I'll just tell people, man. It's simple. People think it, and this is how everything works, right? When you don't know about something, the word is ignorance, which I feel like has a negative connotation to it. But when you don't know about something, it's to figure it out. You're Googling, you're taking words from people. You think you need a personal trainer. You know how many people I know that were like overweight, they've never been to the gym. They'll pay like hundreds of dollars a month for a personal trainer that's giving them a meal plan and like telling them where to work out. You can find out all of this information on Google in 5 seconds. That's how I did it. I just went and started Googling good bicep and tricep workouts, good chest workouts. And I would look and see what I have in the gym available to me. And then I'd see what these people are doing. Good for mass gaining. Look up diets. And I'd see all these people talking about diets. And I would try to converge and get like the consensus, like grilled chicken, a little bit of white rice, egg whites, a little bit of Colby Jack cheese. And then I just made my diet like that. And you just have to stay committed to it. And these people, like, they don't know, and it's not their fault. I mean, I don't know about engineering or something, so I wouldn't try to speak on it. The issue is with fitness is everyone will speak on it with conviction without actually having the knowledge to do so.
Right.
So you'll have people show up at the gym and, well, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. You don't have to do that, And I'll be like, well, you should do this for this, and they're like, oh, you don't have to do that. And I'm
Does
like,
your gym allow recording and shit? Like the gym down here does not. And I kind of, after seeing some of the shit people post, man, there was an incident. Now it wasn't here, but it was close enough. And there was a little TikTok incident where one of the gym members, a newer female there, was recorded and shamed with it. It was nasty. People are trying to motivate. That's shitty behavior.
Dude. The thing is about the gym, and this is the number one concern for a lot of people, especially people that have battled with being overweight. I did it my whole life, still do it today. I can go 3 months eating freaking pizza and cereal and drinking whiskey, and I'll gain 30 pounds. I can do it. And I'm traveling. You know how it is. Like I raced full time last year, and I was going to cons every weekend. I was somewhere. So of course, there's a nice lasagna restaurant. There's a nice. I'm freaking going. Oh, I get it. It's hard, but these people won't go to the gym for one reason, especially when they're overweight. And the more overweight, the worse it is, especially if they're a woman. They're like, well, I don't want to go to the gym, and I'm like, well, why? And they're like, because everybody will look at me, and I'm like, that is the human nature form of narcissism. We all have it. I get it, but you got to learn. No one cares. The only thing anybody will judge you for, if you walk into the gym and you jiggling everywhere, this is what I think, and this is what everybody I've ever talked to that seriously lifts thinks. When they see an overweight person coming in the gym, they are inspired by them. They're like, oh my God, this dude's going to come in here and go hard. And the more they're in there, the more like, this dude's been in here for freaking 2 months, man. He's going hard. This is impressive. And people will walk up and be like, dude, you're doing a great job. Fist bump them. They like lift them up. But people are so caught up in their own like narcissism. And it's not a negative thing. I mean, we all do it. They're like, well, everyone will look at me. I'm like, dude, look, no one cares about you. I'm sorry. Like, no one cares. So, and that's what I have to tell people. It's like a tough thing, but I've had so many people like, I'm so worried. I don't want to go in the gym because everybody's going to look at me. And I'm like, that doesn't happen. You just think it will happen because you're stuck in like this narcissistic circle that you can't get out of because you don't leave your house. Like, people are usually there to help. Just don't go to Planet Fitness. That's pretty much the number one thing. Go to Planet Fitness, they judging the hell out of you. It's a judgment zone. It's not judgment free. That's some bull. I've been kicked out of them places over and over.
That was one of the first things that like a friend of mine told me. He was like, dude, don't go there. Better places.
Yeah. And the thing is with people filming, it's just these girls are just trying to get clout, man. They're trying to get clout. They dress up. Look, and I love it, dude. I got a disclaimer. I love tiny little Gymshark shorts with their booty, and it like picks their booty up and lifts it somehow, and it has like the ass crack that pulls their ass, like fat looking. Dude, it's the greatest shit ever invented. Please, I think you should be required to wear that shit when you're a woman. But that being said, these women will put that on. They'll put their tiny little white skin-colored top on, like their sports bra. It's real tight and uncomfortable. They put that shit on. Put their head up, they tan, and they're over in front of the free weights in like the normal populous area, and they're doing RDLs with weights, or they're doing upper back with their knees on a bench, and they're arcing their back like they're getting duked. I'm gonna look at your ass, baby. You got a problem with it? You gonna leave? I'll tell you.
There's gonna be a video out there with you like standing there.
I will, dude. If no one has ever said this to me, dude. If a girl's standing there and she fat looking, her ass out, I'm gonna look. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna do anything to you. I'm not gonna talk to you. But the same way you'll look at me if I have my stringer on and I have a pump and my chest is veiny as fuck, you look at it, I'm gonna look at your ass cheeks, baby. And if I had a girl, she's like, "Are you looking at me?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, your ass is fat. What's up, baby?" She's like, "You don't do that." I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna keep doing it." I've been going to the gym for 11 years. Good luck. Go tell the owner I looked at your ass. Oh no. But no, these girls they do it on purpose. They wear those clothes so people will look. There's nothing wrong with that. I wear a stringer so people will see my shoulders and my biceps and my lats. I do that on purpose. I want people to see like my hard work. Women do the same thing. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But they film people and then they like shit all over. Thank God for Joey Swole wrecking them.
Yeah, dude. I follow him and watch that shit because I appreciate that. Like when I started, I didn't want some jackass filming me while I'm fucking, man, I mean, I've got friends out there to be like, yo, you're not doing that right. But luckily, like I said, this place up here doesn't allow it anyway. But
yeah,
I mean, that's a fear.
I don't think my gym owner would allow people to come in with tripods and set that shit up. But there are people that will put like a 45-pound weight and just put their phone in it and they'll record them doing like bench. And it's always dudes. I've only ever seen one girl ever doing like lifting like stuff on deadlift. So it's not really a problem where I am. And now, granted, my gym's a very serious gym. Everybody's on steroids. Every single part, even the women. Everybody looks like statues at my gym. I'm like the most out of shape guy at my gym. It's hilarious. So everybody, now I'm the strongest when it comes to bench though, which is great. But I'm like a goofy, flabby dude in the gym compared to these guys. That's why I'm always so self-conscious. Like, I'm like, man, I need to be more cut. Right? But it's funny because the only reason I think that is because there's half the dudes in my gym are IBF like pro bodybuilders. They are pro card bodybuilders.
Oh shit! So you got a serious gym, man.
Oh yeah, and it's this freaking gym right here, man. And I'm over here just working out, and I'm like, God, dude, these dudes make me look like a joke. They're always, they're on like all kinds of cycles of gear, MPP sus, the freaking rolling trend for 6 weeks or some crazy shit like that. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. Shit. Like, but yeah, they make me feel bad. And then I go to a con, and I have my stringer on at like a con, and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, God damn, I look like a god. Like,
Yeah, well, at a con,
like,
hell yeah.
everybody's bald and got the glasses, and they're like walking around with their gut hanging out. I'm like, yeah.
I
And
tell
all
you
the
who's
half the
jacked
women are
now
hot.
is Cecil, man. Cecil.
Oh my God, dude. He came and stayed at my house recently.
Really?
Yeah,
that had to be a riot right there.
We got drunk as hell.
Yeah.
You ever get so drunk that you're just sitting at a kitchen table at 3 a.m. listening to like 70s music and just on a phone?
I went to Bubba Fest, and Flash was there and Ricada was there. And I had gone and drank a little bit with Flash, goofing off. Then we went to a hotel bar, and we drank so fucking much. And Ricada and Flash were like, okay, well, we got the warm up out of the way. Let's go out. And I was like, dude, I'll die if I go out with you guys. I mean, my God. Like Flash actually put Ricada under the table that day. I was like, oh my God. They both neither one of them could function at the Bubba Fest or anything. No. It was awesome.
He's a big dude. Flash can put him down. Like you say, yeah, the thing is, a lot of people probably don't realize that. Like, you bump into Flash in real life. It's a freaking giant, man. Like, I don't want to bump out him in an alleyway. He'll threaten me.
No, dude.
He'll see a homeless guy and be like, I'll beat your ass. I'm like, Flash, no, don't do this. Flash is hilarious. No, but
what was really funny is when Flash first ran into I hadn't met him or anything, and he recognized my kid's voice. And it was like, he was like, little umbrella girl. He was like, oh, what the it's Flash. It's like, oh yeah, what's up?
Yeah, it's fun. And me and Cecil. So Cecil stayed at my house, and it was because we went and saw Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper. So Cecil came and stayed at my house, so he didn't have to get a hotel room, and we would just get drunk every night. And Cecil went to the gym with me. He's a thick dude, and I think he was benching like over 2 plates, and he's like, I don't have a bench, man. And I'm like, well, you're doing great, because there's dudes in here been here for years, can't bench 2 plates. And he's like, but you bench 4. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like the one dude in this state that can bench 4 plates. So, and it's just because I have freak genetics from my dad. I can't squat nothing, but I can bench everything. Cecil's a strong dude. He's a strong dude. He gets in his head about it a lot, though. He's like, yeah, I'm just terrible. I'm fat. I'm terrible. I'm like, you're not. You're doing good. You're good for your age.
He is fucking jacked compared to, when, when we first started all live streaming together, he was fat,
he showed me a picture. I did not know this shit. He showed me a picture. He's on a boat. He's like, this is me. Look at me a couple years ago. And it's like a fat man. It is a bowling ball with a little head on it. And I was like, you looked like this at one point? Because he looks jacked now. I'm like, what the hell happened? You got on the ball, man. Got on the ball. But he has it in him. He did
it in the last couple of years. I mean, he did it in like a year. It was like, holy
It doesn't take long. People misconstrue how long it takes. Like Boogie. Now, look, Boogie's a little too old now, so the damage is likely done. But it would take Boogie 1 year. He weighs probably 460 pounds, 440 pounds. I might be wrong, but he probably weighs somewhere around there. Let's just say he weighs 400. In 1 year, he could go from 400 to 220 in 1 year. It would be a brutal year, but you can do it. I mean, Cecil did it. In 8 months, I've dropped 100 pounds in 8 months, and I didn't have that much weight to lose, and I lost 100 pounds in 8 months, and I was already not really that fat. I gained a little bit of weight back when I got married, but when I was a teenager, I was like 300 pounds, but I lost that weight. I got real skinny. I became an emo scene kid. I was scrawny, and I didn't even do anything. It just happened. I stopped drinking soda. I still don't drink soda. And I lost like
that's one of my 2 vices I've held on to. I smoke a cigar, and I will drink fucking Coke.
Yeah, well, now look, I split hairs a lot. I'll drink Coke in my whiskey, but I don't drink, and it's Coke Zero, by the way. But I don't drink soda. I have not popped open a soda and drank it since I was 27 or 28, and I had a party, and somebody left a sealed Coke in my fridge. So I was like, I had my friend Tiny with me, and I was like, let's try this. And I popped it, and I just drank 1 gulp, and I was like, oh my God, I know why I was addicted to this shit. And I threw it away. I was done. And before then, I was 17 years old last time I had a drink. And And it's just because they are the worst thing in the world, man. If you are trying to keep in shape, that you drink 4 or 5 Cokes a day, bro, that is half your daily intake in just liquid calories. That's brutal. So I stopped, and it's why I don't drink as much. Like last year, I was drinking like 4 days a week for like 2 months, and I was gaining weight. And I was like, yeah, I got to stop this. So I stopped drinking for months, and now I'm back on it. I'll drink once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks when I get the fire going. I've been locked in my house. I've been drinking a lot. But
well, I got in the mood. I was like, walk, man. I'm gonna walk if nothing else, and I was fucking killing it. I was like, man, I was looking at it. I was like, man, I was keeping up with it. I was like 120 miles in a month. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like all you gotta do is put your dogs. I got giant dogs. They pull. Well, my husky doesn't pull that much. He's really well behaved. My German Shepherd, it doesn't matter what you do, he will pull. And he weighs like 110, 220 pounds. My husky weighs about 90. I put them on leashes and I'll walk around my neighborhood just to walk them because they like to walk. And I'll take them somewhere to take them hiking. And I do that. I'll do that shit. And it adds up. Like all you gotta do is be active. And to be fair, it's really hard to tell somebody this and to expect them to change because I couldn't. I have to cold turkey. I can't. The only thing I can do is cold turkey. I can't do the layoff shit. I have to cold turkey. But you can tell people, it's like, look, you're 300 pounds. All you have to do, you don't have to change your diet much. Portion your shit out. Instead of eating like a whole bag of Doritos, portion you out 12 Doritos in a bowl and like slowly eat them and do that with everything. And then start walking your dog, do whatever. You'll drop 50, 60 pounds, but it's going to take longer. It's going to take like a year or two, but you'll drop that weight naturally. With me, I just have to cold turkey it. I just got to nothing. I'm like on a diet, no cheat meals. Cause I'll lose 30 pounds instantly. But I can't do the layoff thing. Cause if I have one mess up, I'm done. You give me one yeast roll from freaking Texas Roadhouse, over. I'm like, well, I fucked up my whole diet. Now I'm going to eat pizza every day.
I like to learning the fact that I was like, oh, you mean I can eat as much fucking steak and meat as I can fucking handle? Great. I'm good. I'm golden.
God, I love it. Dude, I had to stay. I don't have steak for the first month of my diet, but after that I'll get it once a week. Oh, it's like Jesus.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I mean, I just portion control. That was the fucking thing.
I'll eat 2 bowls of cereal. I'll eat a whole bag of chips, like in one sitting. That's what it gets you because you're it's only 130 calories. It's like, yeah, there's 15 freaking portions in that bag, bro. You're eating 1,500 calories of Doritos, and I know how it is, man. I start drinking, dude. I will break out the fire hot Doritos, and I will empty the bag in one night. If I drink, that's a dangerous thing with drinking. I'll be like, mac and cheese, let's go.
Here's Cecil, by the way. What's up, Cecil, man?
We were just talking about your old big old ass.
Yeah, we were talking good stuff about you. How you used to be fat and you're not anymore.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Cecil, it was the funniest shit. Like when he popped up in comics, everybody thought, "Oh my god, this is some lunatic social justice guy," and he just leaned right into it, and it was great, man. I loved having him on, and anytime I'd ever needed anything, like Cecil was like, "Yo, man, what can I do?" And I've always appreciated that shit.
He's great, dude. Cecil's the guy. When we were talking about having people will come on your show when you have a freaking cancellation, which is all the time apparently, I'll text Cecil 1 hour notice. That's my first 2 people are Anna and Cecil every time, and almost every time Anna will come on, but Anna does a lot. She'll be like, "Oh, I'm out of state." I'm like, "That's fine." Cecil, he always comes on.
There was a comic pro that photographed a picture of his butthole and put it online and was like, "Hello, comic skate." So Cecil used to dress up. He had a mask. It looked like a big butt, and it was he would come on as that guy with that free. Oh my god, those are the best streams I've ever been on. Those are funny as hell.
Yeah, dude. Cecil's the goat, man. He's good.
Yeah, I like the Jack Show. I'll lurk, I don't comment on a lot of show like if I'm there because then I hear why aren't you in my chat too? So
oh yeah, dude, I love it. I try to go on every show I can. It's hard. Like Cecil wanted me to come on the other night, and it was just, dude, I had It's Gundam lined up, all these things. I've been waiting for months to get it, 6 months to get It's Gundam. That some bitch was trolling me on Twitter. We talked about it on the show. But I'd be like, we were poking at each other, and he's like, "Yeah." I would just say some shit, and he would just say stuff like, he's like, "Yeah, I kind of want to die." That would be his response to me saying, "Come on my show." And he's like, "Yeah, but I was being serious." I was like, "Yeah, I get it." But we had a great show, and Cecil's like, "You want to come on my show after?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, that would be my third show in a row, like nonstop." And I haven't ate, and I got dinner plans. I'm like, "Oh, fuck." But I try to go on, and I try to go on the Jack show as much as possible. I at least once every 2 weeks. It's hard because you're everywhere. A lot of people don't realize it. Like, you're on shows, man. Like I was on I've been on I pop on random shows all the time. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm on shows. Then Jack's show comes on. I'm like, oh, well, let me get on. If I'm inspired, I'll hop on a show. Then Nick's like, hey, come on my show at 4 a.m. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to Nick's show. And then, that's the Flashcast deal. I would get to the end of the week and I am dying. And then Flashcast happens and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this, man. I'm like on 5-6 shows a week and it's killing my ass. And then, of course I have a show Saturday, and then there's a lot going on always. And I'm like, every week I was like, I'm gonna get on Flashcast. And then I'm just like, can't. Saturday happens and I'm like, get off my show. And I'm like dying, like zombified. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do another show right now.
I do well on that because it's like hanging out with friends, like Jack's show and stuff. Like, everybody has like a different humor approach, for me. Fun. Like Cecil is the direct guy. I mean, he's always on and shit. Like for me, my sense of humor is very dry, So I'm like, I'm not really good at trading that. I'm good on like a panel with a lot of stuff, but for that, I'm like, But
Cecil will just bring up a picture of a girl on Instagram. He'd be like, hey, look at this girl. Is she hot? And he just bring her up. And we talk about her for like 20 minutes. I'm like, yep. Yeah, I would smell her farts. I love her. God, I would die for this woman. And he's like, okay, what about this one? You can move to a different bit. That's like 2 hours of the show. Just like, well, how hot is this girl? Let's go to Twitch and watch a girl like in her bikini. I'm like, all right, that's what we just do on the Jack show. It's funny, man.
I'm gonna hit some super chats real quick. Let's see. John S. Thanks for the 14 months. It's my belief that YouTube is screwing with your channel. Well, that's not good. I tried super chatting. Circle of death. Membership gifting. Circle of death. Something is definitely wrong. Well. Oh, yeah, that's not good. If you'd like to support the channel, try it again. Thank you. Renee, thanks for the gifted membership, too. Thank you for that. Masterlines, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership.
My boy.
Yeah, I love them, And also, thank you for the 5 gifted, too. Appreciate that. Tara, thanks for the 6 months. 6 months.
Damn.
Intimidator, thanks for the 5. Actually, I noticed somebody with 47. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah, dude, I have I should probably make a logo because I know there's people at 4 years now. And I'm like, I don't have a 4-year logo. Because it didn't even have the option back in the day. It was a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and 2 years. And I guess it's been 4 years since they launched memberships. And I'm like, oh shit, I need another logo. I need to know what to put on there. My balls.
Somebody said Cam's heat must be off. Somebody compared you to somebody. I'm just gonna skip forward to this one. Slagless, thanks for the 2. He's like, here's 2 for the Goomba. You look like Tim Pool.
Look, no, see the difference between me and Tim Pool is this.
Holy crap.
See that? You see all this? That's hair. It was cold outside today. Okay, it's like ice.
Tim Pool, indeed. Intimidator, thanks for the 5, man. NASCAR, to me, has long lost its luster to make it popular with so many fans. And hearing what Cam said makes me shake my head. Also, Legacy is a joke.
Yeah, dude. You get the feeling when you're in the lower series, not the big series, but like when I was in the Arca garage, man, it feels so close to home. It's like grassroots stuff. And it's not. I mean, everybody there is like, they're real serious. All the cars are new. Everything looks great. But when you're in the middle of the garage, it feels like everybody's just we're just doing what we're doing and we're having a good time. It doesn't feel like corporate-y and weird. I'm sure the Cup garage is really high end like that, but the Arca garage was so laid back. It felt like I was at a short track race, except I was in the Daytona garage and there was like 50 billion cars. And but it was very procedurally based when it comes to like the actual officials and stuff. You had to meet with people and do all these meetings and stuff, and that was different. But other than that, it felt really nice. It was cool. I would like to be in a Cup garage. I'll never do that probably, but I could see myself one day after a couple of years maybe hitting Xfinity or Truck Series once or twice. And that would be a nice experience to see what the garage is like. But it was really cool. Everybody was nice. All the officials were so nice, like just great people. So it was awesome.
Fire Goddess, thanks for loving this. Is for you. Hey, Papa Pickle question for Cody. How much to get him to make his own calendar? Inquiring minds want to know. Much love to my favorite
dude.
Yeah,
I thought about it so many times. I started writing a book, and I finished the first book. It's just I haven't moved past that point. Like Joe Ball wants to do the art, and there's like this thing where you do scripted paneling. I have no idea. But I really like the story I've come up with. It's been really fun. But I want to do that, but I'm also terrified of failing. That's a big one. Like, what if you launch it and you don't even fulfill whatever? Yeah, it's terrifying. As far as calendar goes, I don't feel right doing it unless I'm in peak performance, like shape, like 7% body fat, and it only lasts for like a week. So like when you get to that point, you would have to have all the photo shoots and everything lined up that week, or else, because you eat one bowl of spaghetti, that shit's it's over. With like water retention and whatnot. But I would like to do a calendar. I just don't think it would do well. I think the book has potential to do well, but not I don't know about a calendar.
Talking about a book or a comic book?
It's like a graphic novel type deal. It'd be pretty long. I think I have a lot of ideas, and I already have. It's like I already have the entire story from first start to finish laid out, like in kind of like a rough way. Like I would want it to be 5 books. And like number 1 through 5, and I already have every single bullet point in every book that I want to hit, and the first books are written. I just need to do the script to panels, which I have no idea how that even works, and the art, and then the actual campaign itself.
It's work. You learn a lot too. Like with this book, our first 2, we didn't have time problems, and with this one, life gets in the way. God, I mean, there's a million things on there. I know there's been a lot of discussion about, finishing versus I mean, I like crowdfunding.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way I can do this shit is Indiegogo or something. I can't do it otherwise. Like I ain't be able to freaking fund $100,000 or something myself. It's crazy. And all of the work would be dependent on the artist. Like
that's where
whatever I have is done. Like so. I don't know. There's a weird conversations going on in the community about all this weird stuff, and I'm like,
I'm not even near it. I've got friends all over.
Yeah, all my friends are involved in all this shit. I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, I'm like much love. If anybody ever needs to diffuse, I'm there. I'll try to take it apart and put it back together. As far as certain, I mean. Yeah, like everybody wants their book to be on time. Everyone does, but life gets in the way. And again, art, like when you get into it, I mean, you want it to be perfect. We're we're not Marvel either. We're not kicking out shit books every month. We're trying to put out perfect.
I want people, I want EVS to do a cover, and I want all these people to do like 3 or 4 people to do covers, and I want all these things to happen and fall into place. But it's just it's hard, and then you're worried about failing. That's the biggest thing.
Like I worry about, especially we do I call it's all ages, but it's kid friendly too. When you get into that, I'm like, man, will that do well? And people have been like, hell yeah. And all these, that's another thing with all of the recent conversations. So many people, man, all those people have all helped me out, every single one of them. So
that's the thing is I'm like, well, if I do this, my Indiegogo would absolutely have to hit $100,000. Like to make the rest of the books happen, and because I would be doing it mainly to fund more racing, even though I've been really fortunate in that shit lately. But to work towards that, and then of course fund, the artist for the next book, maybe make it come out a little bit faster because I can write this shit. I don't know what it is. I never have written before, but I just started and I just burned through it immediately. Like the first book, I was like, well, that was easy. And like every idea I'd pop in my head, I just put in the book. And I sent it to a bunch of people, and all these people were like, wow, this is actually very interesting for a red deck man to come up with. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Like I had a lot of ideas. I've always wanted to dive into this world, but you don't know how to even start back, especially when I was younger, because I wanted to write a book when I was younger, and I had all these really cool ideas. And I wrote down this synopsis, and I was like, well, how the hell am I gonna get this published? This was when I was 17. Like, how would I even begin to start getting? Now there's an outlet. You can actually do it. It's just now you're worried. I have that, I have that whole fear of failing in everything I do, racing, videos, streaming, you know. So I don't really fail very often, but like, you know, there's always that. It's just not my world, right? Like you have, you know, EVS, you got Flash, these people that are really into comics, they're really, you know, passionate about this stuff. And I'm just a random redneck dude from Alabama. Like, why would anybody want to support my comic? It's weird. So it's like, yes, that's kind of like where my block is to really start hitting it hard. So
I've been wanting to do right now, you know, the first 3 comics we did had been good with kids. You know, it leaves something behind. That's great. You know, it's something we do together. That's awesome feeling. That said, you know, I've been into indie comics forever, and I kind of want to do something like horror related, or you know, just bounce into that too.
That's actually I've told a few people like the story, like what it's kind of around. Mine's based around horror. It's like based around that's my favorite genre. Mine's based around horror, like disturbing kind of horror, isolation kind of situations. And there's a really cool like world building aspect to this whole thing where all these people are like forced into this situation where it's like horror based. And you have people that are good at it and people that are bad at it and people that are new at it. It's almost, think of a Starship Troopers, but it's not like bugs and they're not going to planets. It's not a military thing. It's more of an individualistic like job thing. So
that'll be fun. You ain't gonna fail though, man. Like you got enough support, dude. You'll kill it. 6 figures easy, son. Easy.
That would be great.
All right, Cop Swiss. Thanks for the 5 there. No statement. Plenty of statement. Thank you. Sandra D. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, by the way. Thank you. Snake Plush Kitten. I love that fucking thing. Snake Plush Kitten. You know, fucking Snake Plissken. I love it. Zim peoples on YouTube are crazy indeed. There are so many of them. Sandra D, thank you for that membership there. Thank you. I appreciate that. King Leak, thanks for 46 freaking months then. Damn, 46 months. Yeah, that's how long I've been hearing the old hey there from Uncle Tug. Shit, I know it's a long time. Thank you, brother. Subi Sue, thanks for the 5 there. Thanks for always sharing. Tug, much love to Camelot.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Subi Sue, thanks for the 18 months too. You're amazing, Tug. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you. Thank you all for building this channel. You know, you are the ones there. Leah, thanks for 26 months. Hi, how's the book doing? Book good, very good. It's done. We have the print files. It looks like they're done, but with the storms now, the print files are 23 gigs, I think. So right now, the way everything is, every time I try to upload them, it's like dies. So after the storm, I think we're on our last. We've gone 2.5 months getting the print files right. You know, that's a pain in the ass. It's an absolute pain in the ass. And props to SK Bennett. He has done so much. It's exceptional work, but it's there. We're ready to. I think we're ready to print. We'll get a print preview of it just to see, you know, if there are any problems with it. But I think we're done with it. Like I said, we just got to print. Squid, thanks for the 10. Nice seeing the Goomba here. Got a question for him. Is his racing series ever going to hit the Worldwide Tech Raceway in Illinois?
I don't think so. This year I'm racing a lot of ARCA, which is like it's NASCAR owns ARCA. And it's all like the NASCAR tracks: Daytona, Phoenix, a few short tracks like Five Flags, Pensacola, stuff like that. Charlotte, Talladega. Be running a lot of that stuff, and the other series I'll be running will be mainly in North Carolina and Virginia and Pennsylvania. So nothing in Illinois. They're trying to expand out there, but North Carolina is their home. They all live in North Carolina, right? So but we had one race in Alabama. It was the greatest. That was the place where I was taking second and my engine exploded. So I was trying to do my hometown proud. But we'll be racing at Talladega this year if all things work out correctly. So we'll see what happens.
It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome though, you know, you get some real backing or something, man. Go everywhere.
That's the idea, man.
Hell yeah. And Catastrophe, thanks for the 20 there. Respect to Cody for the committed mindset. Self-care is so important. Here's another 12 NZD for whiskey donation. Well, thank you for that.
Hell
appreciate it.
No, self-care, and that's the thing, is self-care is important, but people have co-opted that phrase in modern day, and it's getting better. But like a few years ago, self-care, health day, mental health days, self-care days, like freaking 400-pound women like white women. I don't know what is white women about, but they were like, you know what? Self-care means I eat everything, I drink wine, and I get fat. That's self-care. I'm like, no, that's gonna make you want to kill yourself. Like, I know it in the moment you think you're doing right, but every time you get up, you struggle to move, you look in the mirror, you're going to be ashamed. It doesn't matter who affirms you. I know you're going to be like trying to get the world to affirm you. Doesn't matter. They're all forcing a smile and saying you're brave while they're judging you in their mind. Like, the only way for you to ever feel actually legitimately good about yourself is to accomplish something starting with you and ending with you without anybody saying something to you, inspiring you, you have to start it and finish it yourself. You have to go to the gym, make your own diet plan, lift, lose 100, 200 pounds, look in the mirror, and you're like, I did this shit. That's what gives you fulfillment. That's why people that are hyper successful, they'll find out in the beginning of their life, they'll try to go forward with a venture, maybe start a company, maybe start working on cars, anything, and they'll be successful with it because they really committed to it and they get addicted to that feeling. So everything they do, they grind and become successful. Grind. Everything they do is grind because they get addicted to that actual feeling of real fulfillment. Like, you did this, it was you, right? When I want to get into racing and I had opportunities that I thought may be like available, I would find people's phone number and call them. Hey, this is so-and-so. I met you in so-and-so. Like, I'm looking for some stuff. I'm looking for some, how many times that has made it happen for me? Because I just called somebody. Hey man, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with getting a guest on my show on Camelcast. I was like, fuck it, I'll just email these people or call them, or I know this guy knows this guy. I'm gonna call him and ask him, hey man, you think you can hook me up? Yeah. And it works.
I hate that people use mental health the way that was used too, because that is not positive mental health. Yes, you should be comfortable in your own body, but you need to be able to be honest with yourself too. If you're going to die at 31 because you weigh 600 pounds, that's not physically or mentally healthy.
Yeah. It's the thing is they tell themselves, and they get affirmation from other people online or their friends or family. They get affirmation from comment sections. Oh, you don't need to lose weight. You're fine. And they're like, okay, cool. But they still in the back of their mind hate themselves. And and now there are probably some people that legitimately they don't care. There's probably more men that feel that way than women. But like, these people, like, they always lie to themselves. Why? And they're always struggling with it. And the best thing you can do is not affirm these people. And it's women's fault. Like, women will go into comment sections of their friends and their family, and they'll be like, you're so brave and beautiful. Why? Because so they don't have to compete with them in the market. I mean, I get it. That's what women do. Our male friends will light you up. If Cecil showed up to a meetup and he was 400 pounds, I'd be like, damn.
Yeah.
Cecil, what the hell you doing? Bro, you need to get to the gym. And he'd be like, yeah, I know, man. I'm fast. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if it was two women, she'd be like, yeah, I'm feeling kind of bad because I've gained a little bit of weight. And then her friend will be like, no, you're perfect and you're so stunning. And then she's like, okay. And then she got that little tiny bit of affirmation, which keeps her from improving herself. Now I'll lay into Cecil, and Cecil's like, yeah, I probably should go to the gym. And he will. Right? People need to be honest with people. Like, you cannot replicate the actual feeling of fulfillment from doing something as small as working on a car, as small as changing your oil yourself and saving $80. Something as small as that can lead to such big things. You just have to feel that feeling of fulfillment. That's all it takes, man. Some people never feel it, and that's why they're struggling. They never have felt that before.
I like the fact that there has been blowback to this negative idea, because you're seeing some of the people that were told, hey, you're comfortable and you're beautiful at any body size. Some of these people are dying now. And
all those influencers, there's like the 4 big ones on Instagram, they're all dead. Every one of them are dead now. There was like 4 big body positive people from 10 years ago. All of them dead. Like, yeah, there's no correlation with health and size. Oh, well, you're all dead now.
So I want people to be able to feel good about themselves. It's just, again, you got to be honest. People have taken this idea, again, lie to yourself. Doctors doctors, physical doctors, should lie to you about your health. I mean, that's not. There's nothing positive in that. One more super chat. E1337 Neo, thanks for the 5. I'll snap 5 flags here. Pensacola, Camelot. Shoot Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers a message next time you're in our neck of the woods. Possible meetup.
That'd be great. Yeah, I love Jeremy. Yeah, for sure.
I thought about doing like I'm gonna drop into one of the Geeks and Gamers fucking meetups one day, just because
it always happens during a time where something's happening. Every time they'll be like, "We're doing a meetup on this date." X-ray girl always tells me, and I'm like, "Oh, great! That's literally this day of this other thing." Like the day of, like I was racing somewhere. It's like a big race, and I'm like, "Oh, great! There are meetups on this day." Or it was like, it's always during a con. It's like, "Yeah, I'm going to Montessori next week." Blah blah blah. And then like X-ray girl's like, "Oh man, you should come to Florida for the blah blah blah. Everybody's gonna be here." And I'm like, "What day is that?" "Oh, it's the literally exact days for Montessori." I'm like, "I'm obligated. They already paid for my room and travel and everything. Gotta go to Montessori." So it's always happening at the exact same time for some reason. I'm like, damn, I wish it wasn't.
This week, man, or this year rather, I'm definitely getting in some of those meetups though, dude. I got to get out and fuck around with everybody again. You know, I wasn't around last year, and I was like, man, I got to get back into this stuff. It's fun.
It is. I live for it, man. I did my first comedy show ever. And we did one like kind of loosely in Vegas. Awesome. A lot of people there. And then I did a set in Nashville, and it was the greatest shit ever. It was so fun. Like people were cheering. I was saying the most crazy racist shit. It was great. Because that's what you do. You just go hard on stage, and as long as you deliver your shit confidently, people like have a great time. So you know, it was a lot of fun. I got to experience a lot of cool stuff last year. I went to like 7 YouTube based things. And then I raced 14 different tracks or something crazy. It was a crazy year.
What's awesome, man. Like I feel like there's this group of people kind of, you know, getting together and coalescing. You know, we're kind of all getting to know each other. We're building each other up, and you know, we're talking about doing stuff and fucking off. I think that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, dude. I agree.
You want to plug your channel? Plug anything, man?
Plug it. Follow me. It's in the chat. Growing's hard. It's like random spurts, man. It's like 1,000 or 2,000 subs 1 month, 0 the next month, 8,000. Like, what? I don't know. So I don't really think there's any rhyme or reason to it. I'm kind of really content and happy where I am growth wise. More so views. Should watch my shows Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday with Camel Thoughts, and Saturday with Zia. That's my favorite thing to do. Is these shows are so fun. I have a crazy guest on. I'll have Carl Jobst coming on very soon. He's working on a big investigation right now, but as soon as his video drops, he said we're going to schedule something. So he's the dude that like uncovered
Billy Mitchell, like that guy,
Billy Mitchell guy. Yeah, he uncovered that. Gerard. Yeah, so he's coming on. We've already pretty much confirmed it. We've been talking back and forth for like a month, but he's working on a big thing. So he's like, after I post this video, message me. And I was like, all right, cool. So we're gonna do that. I'll have Gundam on again. I have Critical Drinker. He'll be on again. Because I do his show sometimes, and he's cool as hell. He'll just come on. I'm sure you'll see Nick on my show. New guest all the time. I'll be in West Virginia March 1st for the Temple Studios Pop Culture Crisis. With Brett and Mary. That'll be awesome. Hopefully Phil will be there and hug him. So a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm excited.
They hit me up. I was like, how does that work? Like, you know, I mean, I'm gonna fly out to you guys, and you're gonna put a talking pickle on the screen. What's gonna happen? You know,
just put a pickle on you.
Yeah, they were like, we could work it out. I was like, oh, maybe we'll see. Yeah. That's cool though, man. All right, well, we're gonna end here. Appreciate you folks. You know, getting into this fucking interviewing thing, enjoying it, man. Glad you came on, Cam.
Oh yeah, dude, fun as hell. Time flew. It always does. So
fuck yeah. All right, ended. See you folks.